And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Drunk Live on the PPRN Radio Network. I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
No.
The Mass Chris Masi.
No.
10 points for Souls.
Nah, but Souls, though.
And the
Rat
Baron.
Rat. I also realized I didn't introduce myself. Hostess Cupcake. The Riddler.
Yeah.
Make sure you tune in next week because we're out of time.
That's a wrap.
We will see. We have to help Rebecca grade report cards. She is a hoe.
That's what happens when,
The hoe train.
Can't do the music.
You could. You just choose not to because you're a dumb hoe.
Ricochet.
What?
I thought he was going to play the noise.
Oh. They were talking about the WWE Superstar.
I thought you were just like saying that to Pokemon. Ricochet! Hit him with a flying attack.
Hit him with the Hit him with the Right, we're live here on the PPRN Radio Network.
Yeah, if you haven't turned us off yet.
You will.
Yeah.
The Masters, oh!
There it is.
Souls.
Yeah!
Yeah. Mass might be joining us via Skype, via car radio at some point, so.
Via car radio.
On Skype.
Some type of
in his car.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, he's got some sort of Bluetooth, red tooth thing there. Saber-tooth tiger.
That's pretty good. I'll give you credit.
Yeah, thanks. Starting lineup, Souls.
I'm drinking from
I didn't ask you what you're drinking. I just said your name. What you drinking?
from New England Brewing Company. Super Gnaw. Drink it. It's good.
Was there a T in that at one point?
Yeah. It's a silent tea, you fuck.
It's stupid enough.
It's from Woodsbridge, Connecticut.
Mock?
I have from Sierra Nevada
Who cares?
the Hazy Little Thing IPA.
Everybody's first craft brewery.
Just so everybody
Everybody's
knows.
first craft.
Me and
I
Mock
like what
are
it
no
says on
longer
the can
friends.
here. Up top it says family owned, operated, and argued over. I think that's kind of clever.
That's cool.
Yeah, Kyle's in a foul mood.
Not friends with Mock anymore.
From the Riddler collection.
Oh, go fuck yourself, you cheap bastard.
So I guess the conversation we had earlier in the week hasn't taken.
I didn't. It was my mother. So you can go hit the
Well, no, we just
sack.
can't be derogatory.
From
No
Omnigang
fat
Brewery
chicks.
in Cooperstown, New York. Neon Rainbows
Prove it.
IPA. Well, I can show you.
I don't want to see. I want to see the actual place.
Can you describe the pattern of the can?
It's kind of like a platinum argyle.
I just want to see if he knew the word argyle. I was waiting for him to say, like, it looks like a colorful crocodile.
You know that children's book with the fish with the colorful scales?
Rainbow fish.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish?
That's it.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss.
That's not the book you were talking about.
But
It's
it
actually
looks-
Dr. Swice.
Dr. Swice.
It's actually really how you say it.
I read somewhere that
I was always under the impression it was Suez.
I thought it was Suez. Suez Canal.
Suarez.
Dr. Suarez.
Una fish, dos fish, Rioja fish, azul fish. I think I got that right?
I think it was.
Well, I mean, fish was in English, but
Wasn't that just how you say fish in Spanish?
I don't know how you say it.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
everything.
Uno gato?
One
Mr.
cat-
Verbato. Stop being a teacher.
The
Moving along.
the resident podcast pet chose to speak.
So-
Nobody gave it
So
any
if
permission.
Buzz Killington was ever a person.
How about we all review some Scrimshaw?
Brave men of New Bedford.
Oh, God. Did you guys just have a couple moments?
Yeah.
Well, we've watched a lot of
A couple
SNL.
of gay moments.
Yeah, like, why don't you guys, like, break up or something?
All right, you draw out the paperwork.
I'm drinking from Guinness. This is Open Gate Brewery in Baltimore, Ireland, of course. Nah, it's not in Baltimore, Ireland. But regular Guinness is from Dublin, Maryland. I'm drinking the Over the Moon Milk Stout. It's a milk stout.
So the story behind that is kind of
Oh,
funny.
whoa. I was going to get there, man.
Oh, okay,
But
I'm
you can
sorry.
go ahead.
So we went to a different package store, and not great selection.
The sign, so like we don't actually physically see it on the way, but there's a sign for it.
It's called Mutts.
And the sign made it seem like there was a good selection to go look at.
Yeah.
So we figured we always stop at Amity on the way. Let's try something different because we've been looking at the same beers at Amity for a while. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not because you'll never get another opportunity. You'll never want another opportunity.
Right.
But you know what's funny, Kendall? They had some craft beers there. A lot of Two Roads, obviously. They had like Sip of Sunshine, Too Juicy, things like that. And then like a lot of weird stuff like this. They had like that, that hazy little thing or whatever, and like Super Nut and stuff. But you know what they had 3 cases of?
What?
Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cases?
Mm-hmm. They had a case and a half in the cooler, and then a case and a half on their stack of pile of beers. Also, Yuengling came out with a light beer. It's called Yuengling Flight.
You got to drink 30 before they start tasting like IPAs.
Nah, they're like 5.6%.
Huh.
They're just like low carb, low
Oh,
calorie.
we're talking like Mick Ultras.
No, we're talking like Yuengling Ultras.
No, I know. I was making a comparison.
Nickelback?
We'll have to try it. I'm in.
Acting like we're animals. I was hoping Kendall was going to do the.
Way to miss your cue.
I'll give you something different.
I could sleep to that forever. Toast of Excellence.
Mine is to the very forgettable Drew Holiday putting up 37 points against the Timberwolves. I almost forgot. I almost said the Bucks, and I was telling myself I wouldn't say the Bucks, and then I almost did. So, good job, Drew Holiday.
Good. I like that one.
That hurt my head.
It hurt mine, too.
Kyle, do you have one?
Can you come up with yours first?
I have a couple, but I'll do one right now.
Can you tell me the other one?
It was underrated.
I saw this online today. My first toast of excellence is to Dick Allen, who in 1966 became the first member of the 40-40, where he jacked 40 home runs and smoked 40 Marlboros a day.
That's awesome.
I thought Kendall would like that
Actually, I do have one.
one. And my other toast is to Miles Turner.
Joining the 2020.
No, it was just something I saw on Instagram that Bleacher Report was talking about, where he had some like 11-year-old kid sitting with him before a game, and I guess she's battling cancer and bullies at school, so he was just kind of saying some kind words to her, and it looked, it was nice.
That's nice.
Like that's a cool story, but why Miles Turner?
Hey, could be Mason Plumlee.
But it can't. He's in Denver.
I'm just saying that it could have been him.
Yeah, like just because he's in Denver doesn't mean there's kids that need help there too, Kyle.
No, they're all fine there.
Just no child illness. Kyle, what do you got?
So there's this video that I saw today where a kid threw a beer can, not a kid, but like a young adult threw a beer can across a lake to another party across the lake, midair, and the other guy caught it.
Oh, the guy, on the balcony.
Yeah,
Send it. You gotta eat it.
it was pretty dope.
Yeet.
I saw a guy today that was his license plate.
Yeet.
Yeah. I took a picture of it once before. I don't think I ever sent it to you guys.
Nope.
I'll find it. Hold on.
All right. Did you give yours?
I did.
Oh, all right, cool. Ready to crack them?
None for you, Mr.
You guys just like I kept trying to do mine and everyone kept interrupting. So
Oh, I'm ready.
no, I'm just kidding. Mine's kind of like a homer on 2 different scenarios. So mine's to Eddie Olczyk, Chicago Blackhawk, sports commentator, hockey commentator. So legal betting became a thing in Illinois, and Eddie Olczyk fired the first legal sports bet in Illinois, and he bet $1,000 on the White Sox to win the AL pennant at 16-1 odds.
Very Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. You ready? You all ready?
I think so. Up.
Oh shit! There's a rat in here.
It's me. Very good.
I won't give a full review yet, but it's not IPA bad.
Hey, does anyone want a Guinness
Ow,
Bond
ow.
glass?
Ooh, no. What, do you have one?
I have one.
You know what you want? You know what you're gonna want to do with that? You want to keep that handy for those late night urine sessions.
And it's funny because I know, like, if no one wants it, like, Kendall will take it.
That's right. I'll take it now.
Ooh, Kendall, you're getting to that point now where you're gonna start needing a haircut soon. Kendall's got this weird colic that like goes along the back of his head. Can you turn and look at the Heineken light so Mom can see it?
Yes.
Can you do me a favor, though?
It's like this line.
Can you do me a favor, though, Kendall?
He kind of looks like Lenny from Mice and Men.
Can you let it grow out for your wedding so that only in your wedding photos you have really long hair? Just so then, like, for the rest of ever, you're like, oh yeah, this is the only time I ever had
Right,
this
yeah.
hair.
I think on your wedding you should get cornrows and wear your grill.
You know, I've tried many times that, but my hair just kind of froze out. But it doesn't like
I'm gold child.
It doesn't like go out. It just kind of like
I do
At
think
least
you should
wear
go
the
with the
grills.
grills.
it looks like broccoli.
You should go with the grills.
I was thinking we could all get grills. What do you think?
That could be your gift to your groomsmen.
Everyone
Hilarious.
matching grills.
I want bottom tooth ones.
I want them real cold though.
I never getting 6 bottoms. So I lost shot trivia last week,
Shocker.
and you know what's funny? We were talking
I'm
about.
losing this week. Don't worry.
I was thinking about it.
Send it back and forth.
It got to a point where Kyle and I were just kind of flip flopping.
No, it hasn't gotten. It is that point.
Well,
Did
actually,
anyone catch Paul's cadence there? That was man-eater.
yeah. So,
the Billy Ocean song really made me start like.
I got you.
is the shot out? Is it?
No, I got to get it for you.
Yeah.
Trailer rat trash.
This is a bummer that Masi's not here.
I'll get it. Anything for you, boss. The Johnny Ace impressions from today. Oh, Vince, your muscles are so vascular today. Could I rub some baby oil on them?
Why you?
Freak out, freak out. I can do a pretty good Andre the Giant, too.
Apple cider.
I can do a pretty good Andre the Giant impression. That's close, too. Good one, Mark.
What? All right.
I was doing my Andre the Giant impression. Beer.
You gentlemen ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Is the question, whoever's closest to guess the number, the number of office to president that was had the first declared party?
Yes.
All right, it's 2.
You're right.
I know it.
So, Adrian
He was
Peterson.
a Federalist.
He had 41 career fumbles, by the way.
Adrian Peterson
How many career fumble recoveries?
has 111 rushing touchdowns. How many quarterbacks have handed off a ball to him on a rushing touchdown play? Bum, bum, bum.
Huh.
Bum, bum, bum.
He's played for 3 teams, right?
Yeah.
Well, 4 technically.
Did he play a game for the Cowboys? Or the Cardinals? No.
What's the 4th team?
Yeah.
The Saints.
I remember him as a Saint.
Yeah. Vikings, Saints, Redskins?
And Arizona.
That's
Oh,
what
he
you
was-
just said.
He was traded from.
Yeah.
But did he actually play there? Like he played a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a rushing touchdown?
Yeah.
How many?
2.
Who was the quarterback?
Carson Palmer.
Who was the other quarterback after Palmer got hurt?
It must have been just one game.
Who were the quarterbacks?
There's no
in
way he had
Minnesota?
2. Fran Tarkenton.
11.
I was gonna say like 10, so he's.
You know, I'm trying to like run through the list of names quick, but then I started joking with Kendall.
He was drafted in 08, right?
That's a Kyle question.
He was drafted the same year as Chris Johnson, right? Chris Johnson and Joe
Adrian
Flacco.
Peterson?
Yeah.
Way before that.
Oh,
Like 06.
no.
Not way before. But like he was drafted before that.
I don't think he was part of the 06 draft.
06, 05 around there.
No, I'm going to look it up. I'm not going to look
If
up.
I'm wrong, I'll take a shot at private stock.
All right, so if it's not 06, you have to do private shot? All right,
Yeah,
cool.
that's fine.
I'm gonna guess 9.
07. Damn. Bitch. You said 9?
Yeah.
There's a comfy looking 10 right there. But I don't want to be that guy. So I'm going to go with 9.5.
He's right, you know.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. 13.
And Paul is the closest.
I knew I was wrong. As
16.
soon as I said it. As soon as I was like, that's too low.
You guys want to see if you can name a couple of the quarterbacks?
Christian Ponder,
Correct.
Sam Bradford.
I don't have him on my list.
No way.
He was Viking after that.
Yeah, Bradford became a Viking. Adrian Peterson's been out of the Vikings now for
Christian
like
Ponder.
4 years. 4 years.
Brett Favre.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drew
Teddy
Brees.
Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Drew Brees.
Nope.
McCown. Who the hell was the quarterback for the Saints when he would have
Had to have been.
So he didn't actually have a rushing touchdown with the Saints.
Oh, all right. Carson Palmer.
Yep.
Alex Smith.
Yep.
Dwayne Haskins.
Yep.
Case Keenum.
Yep.
Quincy Pondexter.
Dante Culpepper.
No, that's a little too old.
Vikings have that many fucking quarterbacks?
Sage
Rosenfels.
Nope. Same caliber people though.
Who's the other Colt McCoy?
Yep.
John Kitna.
No, good guess though.
I'm trying to think of who was the quarterback before Brett Favre.
Well, was Ponder after Favre? Yeah, he had to have been.
There's a guy who later went and played for the Seahawks.
Gus Farrat.
Tavares Jackson.
Gus Farrat, Tavares Jackson.
Russell Wilson.
How many are we at?
You guys are missing 5 that I don't think you're going to get. Well, no, that's not true. These are
John
Sean Hill.
Skelton.
Nope.
John Skelton.
Drew Stanton.
Nope. One person played for the Redskins and the Eagles.
Donovan McNabb.
Yep.
You know, I was thinking that, but he was like, he said that
McNabb.
he said we weren't going to get him, and I was like, well, that's too easy then.
Yeah, I take back what
Oh,
I
he
said.
was a Viking too.
No, I know that.
No, I'm just thinking in my head.
I know.
Give me a dick.
One
Because
guy,
you're a dick.
one guy went 11-5 for the Patriots.
Matt Castle.
Matt Castleback.
One guy actually became a receiver for a little bit.
Joe Webb?
Terrell Pryor.
Joe Webb.
Oh, I forgot about Joe Webb.
And this guy was like a Brown, a Bill.
Kelly Holcomb.
Yep. And I don't even have a good hint for you. I think he played for the Rams and Ravens.
Mark Bolger.
No, but kind of on the right track.
Trent Dilfer.
No.
First name Jeff.
No.
Kyle.
Is his last name Jeff?
First
No.
name Mike.
Nope.
All right, who is it?
Brooks Bollinger.
That was my nice guess. First name Brooks. Because after I went through the group, I was going to go straight into Shawshank Redemption names.
Leading off with Brooks.
He was here.
He was. So, unfortunately, I think it goes back to Kyle, right? Or,
No, Mock.
No, Mock got it wrong.
Right back to Kyle.
Yeah, you know when he
That's
did
what's
that, you
up.
kind of sounded like the fake Santa Claus from the Santa Claus 2
Drink
when he
this
made the
apple
rubber
cider,
Santa
my
Claus
guy.
to go find a wife. He kind of did. Just saying.
Find a bucket.
No, it won't be that.
You
bad.
don't need a bucket.
Here's the thing, I might.
If you use a bucket, you have to finish it.
Well, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true.
It is.
If you're getting up, get the private stock, please.
All right.
Yeah, pussy boy.
And this time, I didn't measure.
Is there apple cider in there?
I can't reveal anything yet.
Apple sauce.
Is this going to be like a thing, though, where like I'm going to have to sniff it every week?
I think you're the only person who has some sort of semblance of being able to figure it out.
You're gonna give me one of those?
Hey, I got a $150 bourbon to work with next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You want to drink it all?
I do. Very much so.
I'd like to mix it with some Coke.
Oh,
Actually, RC.
Cola?
actually, RC Cola is okay. In a pinch.
You know what I actually caught Kendall doing the other time?
It's pretty sticky.
You know what Kendall was doing
know what
last
it
time I was at Kendall's house? Hey,
This is my bucket.
Ma, you know what I saw
Yes.
Kendall doing last time I was at his house? He was drinking Johnny Walker Blue and Moxie.
Moxie?
I think it's almost like impossible to do.
Yeah, he was drinking that, and then before that, he was drinking Lagavulin 16 and Fanta Pineapple.
Oh, God. Scotch and pineapple.
I saw
Soda.
Purple Hypnotic.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where?
No, they didn't.
I was going to say. I was going to tell you, why didn't you buy it?
I check everywhere for you.
Thank you.
Although it is becoming funny to be like, oh, there's Purple Hypnotic, and then Paul goes, oh, really? Oh, you dicks.
Well, because like the store we were at today is a store that would have a bottle of it.
When Paul and I, we searched. We like doing internet searches. We were calling places.
I called over 30 package stores in one day, and then we ended up finding one in New Britain.
New Britain.
We drove all the way to New Britain, and she was just like, "Yeah, I have like 4 of them." He goes, "Well, take them."
Have you called back there?
It's discontinued,
Oh.
so it's
So, like, if you find it now...
Was it Mox trying to, like, get out of this?
Well, no, we're talking.
Allegedly, Norwalk's Total Wine has it, according to the website. But I called there one time, and they said they couldn't find it.
Wait, really?
Well, this was a long time ago. And
You should have told me. Like I work there.
I know.
The place has a Bourbon County display. I call them every Thursday morning. I walk in and I'm just like, oh.
So it could still be there, and then people are idiots. I don't know. All right, come on, Brooks, give it a shot.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to write something funny.
Guy called you Brooks Robinson. Oh, child, Mark is gonna vomit real soon.
Now,
You gotta smell it and guess.
I can smell it already.
Bum, bum, bum.
There's some dark liquor.
Some brown liquor.
There actually isn't.
No way.
This is my finest creation yet.
There's a familiar smell.
Ooh, child,
If you've been to my bathroom,
yeah.
Did you want to smell? You can smell it after, I guess.
Yeah, I can smell it after. Just kick it
Well,
back.
this is a real bummer.
Come on, man. Just do your best to swallow it. Don't just be
I'm
like,
going to try.
nah, because you always go into these things with like I'm just going to spit it out right away.
That's pretty much just a reaction.
Yeah, but hold it back.
I'm trying to get the smell. I know the smell.
I should be shocked if you can figure it out.
I know the scent.
Is it Dracar Noir?
No.
Take 2 bottles.
It's disgusting.
What's it smell like, Kyle?
I don't know. I took that smell like 5 minutes ago.
I think the way you said I took that smell. Man, I took that smell. Well, what do you think?
Not terrible, but not good.
Souls, want to give it a shot?
And Paul?
It's so familiar.
Oh, it's Bailey's.
Coming from your
Why am I drinking this?
Because you're you.
It's not terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
It's not good, but
Like, I feel like there should be some like carbonation in it.
that's what it tastes flat.
Get a little splash of club soda in there.
Paul, did you want to smell it?
I would like to smell it. You can just toss it.
You should take a try, Paul.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have to.
Oh,
'cause
guys, it's 9:20. The draft started.
Did it? No. It was so funny.
Late to our own draft.
Well, this is funky.
Yeah, like. So, like, part of me wants to drink it again to get the smell,
I think you should.
but I'm not going to.
I highly recommend
Is it rum?
It is not.
Is it vodka?
It is not.
Is it a splash of graves?
Is it yin?
It is not.
Is it licorice?
It is not.
Is there 1,000 Island dressing in this?
Nope.
Is it Captain Crunch?
Yes.
Is there milk in there?
There's not.
Ken wouldn't waste his milk.
That's right. I love my milk. Drank some old milk last night.
It definitely tastes like apple cider.
I'm surprised. As I gave it a whiff, I don't know really what it smelled like anymore. I can't remember.
No, it tastes like apple cider. It's got like that sweetness to it.
Yeah, like what is it, Kendall?
Hold on. There's one liquor in here?
There's one liquor.
Is it a liquor?
It is.
Is it a clear liquor?
It is.
But it's not gin or vodka.
Is it tequila?
It is tequila.
That might have been the smell I was getting.
Blanco tequila?
Yes.
Not the Villa one, is it?
Oh, it's the Villa one.
You put a $35 tequila in this. What an asshole. All right, so it's Villa one tequila. It's funny, like, I can't get like Thousand Island. It smells like a vinaigrette. This smells like a drunk salad dressing.
Is there mac sauce in there?
Only the thing I have on me all the time.
Can you give me a hint of the other two ingredients? Like
Okay, so one is...
It's like, I'm right on it, but I can't, like...
That's why I like.
There's another alcoholic beverage involved in this.
Is it cider?
It is not.
Is it a beer? Like a canned beverage?
It is a canned beverage.
Is it John Daly's?
It is.
That's what I'm smelling. That's what it is. Is it the half and half?
It's the half and half.
That's what it is. It's got that Arnold
Because
Palmer.
I think we all had that in Pittsburgh, I'm pretty sure.
No, you had it. You and Jeff.
Yeah, you guys had it.
Oh, well, yeah. But you guys were there.
So what's the last ingredient, the non-alcoholic component?
It is Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Oh my God. Well, there's the sweetness. All right.
Well done.
Thank you.
Now, Mark, do your follow-up sip.
Nah, I'm good now.
Just dunk your sack in it.
Swish it around. Come on. It's like a mouthwash.
All right.
Yeah.
Souls, what do you got for us?
No. Fuck that kid. He sucks eggs.
Is that true?
Is it true? Do you suck eggs?
I think his silence is no.
Souls, do you suck eggs?
All right, I believe him.
You can't shake your head on the live.
They
radio
know.
show. They know that you do or don't.
It's documented. They know.
So, doing this thing earlier, where I was being an asshole in the group chat about fans, types of fans.
Mm-hmm.
Aluminum batch, right?
And I kind of like realized that
Oh yeah, are we gonna do Masi's segment while he's not here?
well, we're gonna see if he can Skype in at some point. So I kind of figured out that we all have like a type of fan about us. So like,
I have something I'd like to add to what you're saying.
okay,
Are you gonna try and like talk about what type of fan we all are?
yeah,
We should each say what type we think we are.
and then
And
I
then
tell
have-
you what type I think you are.
Well, then have everyone just kind of either agree or disagree.
All right, that's fair. Kyle, you start
I always have to go first.
because I know you're not ready.
All right, so I am 3 type of fan into one. I am an asshole, highly optimistic, and I'm a bandwagoner. Tell me I'm wrong about
That
all
was the
3
way
of
he
them.
said it.
Now, what do you mean by bandwagoner?
I hate players, and they come to my team, I love them.
Also, the vice versa of that. He loves a player. If he leaves his team, he then hates him.
That's not necessarily true.
I think there's like 40% truth to that. I agree with you for some
For who?
things. I'm trying to think of somebody like recently.
Antonio Brown.
I don't hate him. I just think he's an asshole. Would I take him back in a heartbeat?
I'd have to think on it.
I don't hate Le'Veon Bell.
Not anymore, because he was possibly linked coming back to the Steelers.
No, I never hated him. He just wanted the money. He's not an asshole.
Hey.
Am I
That
wrong
was-
about my fanhood?
So this isn't really like the way I was thinking about it, but all right, I guess so. Yeah.
So there's one component that you left out. Homer. You left out Homer.
I'm not even close to big as a homer as you. Him.
That's not true.
I think Kyle also has a splash of the fantasy football fan where he cares more about his fantasy team than anything else going on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's everybody.
No, it's not everybody.
It's him.
It depends on the season the Giants are
No.
having. It is
For
true.
the last 5 years, it's been
let,
Mog.
me, let me tell you what I envisioned for Kyle. This is what I pictured for Kyle. So Kyle is what I called the true obnoxious fan. The fan that always has his team's back, will always defend his team, and they're never out of the playoffs, even when they're out of the playoffs. They have a chance to make the playoffs when they're not in the Super Bowl. Like, that's how much he believes in his team. But he will also always tell you why his team is better than your team, even if they're 0-16 and your team's 16-0.
And especially if you don't know him personally.
The other funny part is it depends who he's watching the game with. Because if you're watching the game with your dad, you are the encouraging force behind all the negative energy. But if your dad's not there, then fuck the team.
You're pretty much your dad when your dad's not there. Is that fair, Kyle?
Not really.
Kyle, I have seen you in the first 2 innings of a Phillies game sit in the living room telling your dad, calm the fuck down, it's the second inning. And then go into your room in the 3rd inning, and then somebody will swing and miss, and you'll be like, you're fucking trash, we're going to lose because of you.
It depends on who the player is.
I've seen you do it to everybody but Bryce.
No.
Yes.
I haven't done it to Gene.
It's because he's always hurt.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, he sucks. He's not even that good. Bring back Cesar.
But Kyle's the type of person, let's say if some random guy came in and said, I was like, hey, I'm a big Falcons fan. And Kyle would just say, oh, you suck.
That I would.
Or he'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
what?
Wouldn't even
Kyle's
think
also
about
the
it.
closet supporter, meaning he's a big-time his team fan, but he's also always going to root hard for another team, the Lions. I feel like Kyle would be, as time goes on, I feel like he'd be more torn if there was a Lions-Steelers Super Bowl. He'd be like, I'll be happy either way. I'd be more happy if the Steelers won, but I'd still be pretty happy if
I'm
Matt
a Steelers
Stafford
fan
got his.
out first. Not like Captain Dickhead over there.
Hold on, we haven't gotten him yet. All right, so,
we'll get there.
all right, so Mock, what kind of fan do you think you are?
So, I do have homer
He's
tendencies.
a Chris Jankowski fan.
No, Kyle, that's not true, and you know it.
No, it didn't.
It's not.
All right, let me
Because-
ask you one question, and then I'll agree with you or not.
I have the perfect fan.
Gary Sanchez or JT Realmuto?
I think Sanchez is a better batting catcher.
There we go. That's all I have to say. You're wrong, by the way.
Well, no, Gary Sanchez is a better batting catcher.
He's a
He's
better
power hitting catcher, not better hitter.
He's a better batter, Kyle.
I'd say the same thing. 230 worth it?
He's not making $30 million a
He's
year.
going to go for it. And first of all, he batted 260 last year. With 34, 114, I'll take that.
And a missed playoff spot.
Okay.
But anyway, I do have the touch of the homer, like every
Judge
sports
all that
fan.
money.
Yeah, that's going to be a real bummer. But I try to be somewhat realistic. I mean, I try and stay optimistic as long as you can. It's been tough, last few seasons of football. But as long as the rest of the division's rough, they're in it.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to chime in on the type of fan that Mock is? Because I think I have mine. I think nails it right on that.
He's an asshole Chris Jankowski fan.
You can say it, Kyle, but it's not true.
It's
Kyle's been
very-
hanging out at the Salty Spittoon too much
Yeah.
lately. How tough am I?
It's just because you think all your
I
players
ate a bowl of nails for breakfast without any milk.
think Daniel Jones is the next big thing.
Kyle, you said he could be.
I don't
All
think
right, so Kyle, you keep texting me, but it does. I need a password.
No, he said try it. Like, it said change password. That's what he told me to tell you to do.
All right, so this just sucks now because now I can't do both of these at the same time. So fuck it. Screw the fantasy draft. I don't give a shit about the fantasy draft. We'll do Mock's thing first. Mock is the dad fan. That is the fan that Mock is. You can often catch him wearing his one-size-fits-all Giants hat. You can often find him wearing a New York Giants shirt or sweatshirt along with his jeans and not-so-fashion-forward sneakers or his windbreaker / sweatpants.
Well, these are my work shoes.
But they're still not but you wear them regularly, though.
It's just easier.
They're not fashion forward, but they're like dad shoes. You can often find him having to miss a game due to a family obligation, but finding the nearest area in which he can see a game to find a highlight of a Saquon Barkley run.
Yeah.
You're also very vocal on social media about his views on the team, whether it's going against management, supporting a player, or pouring out his heartfelt tears of emotions for a player's retirement.
So,
Hold on. I'm not done.
All right.
He's also, in my opinion, as time goes on, will be the dad fan that will constantly regard all players to the player of the past. Like, he'll have, like, some kid will say, oh, that blah, blah, blah is a great linebacker. Let me tell you something about Michael Strahan. Like, down the line, let me tell you something about Saquon Barkley. Let me tell you something about Antrell Roll. Like, those.
He was bad for you guys.
he was adequate. Barely.
Who's the guy that you really hated? The defense?
Oh, Corey Webster.
But I think Mock is the dad fan.
Since I said Corey Webster, they posted on Instagram, the Giants account posted a highlight video, because I guess it was his birthday the other day, and they're like, hey, here's this great highlight, and they showed him making an interception, but it was pretty routine, it wasn't anything crazy.
Something across the middle, and he's the only guy there.
He was just kind of running up, and he caught it, and I was like, oh, that's the highlight they chose. It could have been anything else.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I love highlights about players who are kind of not that spectacular, but it's still a namesake.
It was oh, here it is. He did this once.
That's right. Back then, that was a very boring Giants secondary.
Yeah. It was a very bad Giants secondary.
Well, until he got his contract.
Hey, can you text Mass and tell him to open up the Yahoo app on his phone and approve a sign-in?
Yahoo.
Tell him I need the account key code.
Tell you, the burp flavor is not good.
So what do you think about the dad fan?
So I think it's pretty accurate. The only thing I kind of disagree with is I don't post as much on social media as my brain thinks.
No, but when you do,
a lot of times it is the more heartfelt. Thing.
But you've posted about get this clown out of front office.
Yeah,
it
was McAdoo.
How the post you made about when Geno took over for Eli that one game.
Yeah,
those are dad posts.
That was a real bummer.
But those are dad posts. Because the way you word them like you're safe in case an employer ever looks at Facebook. It's not just what a fucking asshole this guy. It's their dad posts.
Well, because that's the Chris Jankowski fan, which I am not.
All right, let's move on to Kendall.
I was laughing today when this kind of this topic came up, and I was laughing very hard at some of the assessment. And I think I am totally a sports hipster, 100%. Someone who is generally liked something's popular, nah, not for me. Can't be. I'm gonna like the guy who's 3 times as bad and has half the touchdowns as the person. I don't think I'm a bad Steelers fan, though. I hope I'm not. I think I'm not a...
It feels like you like the Chargers more.
Kyle, I like football more than anything. So Pittsburgh's my favorite team. Then I like Buffalo a lot. I like the Chargers a lot. I also like the Texans a lot. I like the Broncos.
It's Chris Masi. Here you go.
I can't find the cursor.
It's right fucking there. Oh, Massey on I-95 southbound?
Live from Massachusetts, it's Chris Massey.
It's Saturday night.
Mass, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How terrible is the audio?
Not bad.
It's pretty rough.
It's,
Sounds about normal with you sitting here.
Let me ask you something.
I decided to switch from a bathtub tonight to a wind tunnel.
Ooh.
Wait, do you have windows down right now?
No.
Okay.
I just found out that the reason I'm in last place in basketball is because I lost to Rebecca last week by 800 points.
The scoring in the basketball is funny. It's hey, you won. It was 1,400 to 12.
All right, so
oh wow,
Mass, I'm in for you. By the way,
what?
I'm in for you on
He's in you
on the draft.
Oh, perfect. Okay. please don't be too rough to me tonight, because it's not like I didn't want to do the draft.
No, I'm just going to give you all Reds.
Perfect.
Best jerseys in baseball.
Jeff, if you're listening, please log into the draft. Your kid can be awake and you can do it.
So,
No.
What?
probably didn't hear. The Mass decided to drive up to Boston instead of going up to the show because his computer broke.
No, we went over it.
Yeah, it
Alright.
sounds like a real screw you guys move, but it's cool.
Real quick, on the Kendall fan thing. Kendall is the missed his calling fan. That's what I call him.
The mist is going.
He is. He's the fan. He's the fan that thinks he could always be coaching the team better than the team is being coached. He's the fan that's constantly blaming the play call, saying the correct play that could be ran, telling the refs that that they're doing a great job or a bad job, constantly pointing blame to the right player on the field for like a missed route or poor thing. And he's the player. He's the fan that should be coaching.
Becker, you thinking Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Well, thank you.
So, am I allowed to throw in a super late toast of excellence or no?
Yeah, is it to Rebecca being a fucking dumbass right out of the gate?
You're up, Ken. Your girlfriend's
Why?
an idiot.
What'd you do?
Now I don't know what to do.
She picked Jacob DeGrom at the first pick.
Well,
Gross.
Yeah, guy just had Tommy John surgery and is out until August.
I guess I'm just going to have to pick Mike Trout now.
Come on, man.
Well, I should
Kyle, he's not going to fall.
Yeah, he's not going to make it to the last pick in the fucking...
But Kendall's also the guy that just loves everybody.
I do like a lot of people.
That's
I
not
don't
what I
think
said.
There's like 3 people in football that he hates total.
But even them, he
Well,
doesn't hate
Does
them.
the Patriots roster count as one?
Kendall, do you hate the entire Patriots roster, or do you just hate Belichick and Brady?
Logan, if you're listening to the show, dude, it's the third fucking pick.
I don't know, man.
Come on now,
You know,
Kermit.
It's got to be auto drafting.
No, it's not.
It took him that long.
I don't know. I think I still dislike them, but it's like I just kind of give it up. New England, they beat me. They just beat me down. I can't focus
Are you
on my
just
frustration.
You're just worn down now?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Just give me a second on Mass's pick. I got to scroll to the last ranked player.
Hey.
It was after Seattle lost to New England. I think that was it for me. I just kind of gave up.
Should I just draft them Bryce Harper right out of the gate?
Am I picking before sold?
I don't know actually.
Mass, by the way, you owe me one trade.
For drafting for me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to draft well for me?
Well, I made 2 people in the room go,
Oh, yeah. Hey. Auto draft is on.
for who?
Jeff, this is going to aggravate me so much.
Well, for me, the problem is, Jeff picked. Oh, no.
I just took best available.
So let me ask this question. Why didn't Kyle just make up like an email for him, draft for him, and then send him the email and be like, this is your team, good luck?
Because we did that and he won fantasy football.
This is true.
That's a fair thing. All right.
So here's the problem. This is why I wanted to avoid the draft. Nobody's talking about anything. Everyone's just looking at the draft.
So I'm not going to look at the draft. I'm more than happy to talk.
Can you do
Did
your
we talk
segment
about
from in the car?
What?
Can you do your segment from in the car?
No, because I can't read any of the notes that I wrote.
Well, you don't remember the things you did? Oh, Mass, you're on the clock. All right, go. Okay.
Well, you could
Did
kind
we
of.
talk about the Rams logo yet?
Well,
No.
this was kind of like dusting along the.
You mean the Chargers logo?
Yeah, essentially. So the best way that I could describe it is it looks like a news station logo.
It does.
That's the best way that I've heard it put.
I
I've
saw.
heard swirlings that it's an alternate logo, which doesn't excuse it, but gives me a little bit of hope that the real thing will be a little bit better.
So two things, Mass, real quick. One, I saw something similar to like a post. Someone was like, it looked like someone didn't have the rights to the NFL, so they made a logo just to have it fit. And also, I don't know if you guys remember, there was something similar to this that happened not too long ago. I want to say in the past 5 or 6 years, where either it was a jersey or a logo or something, and people just hated it and they ranked on it, and then they ended up backing out.
That was the Chargers.
Was it the Chargers?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the Chargers
They did
logo.
the LA
Yeah, it
with
was
the
the LA.
bolt.
Yeah.
It was the one that looked like the Dodgers logo.
I keep seeing this thing popping up where it's like the like it's saying like LA Rams. Hey, can I borrow your homework? And then it's like LA Chargers. Yeah, but don't copy it exactly. And it was like, okay.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, like,
I feel like you're talking to us from a fucking propeller plane.
I know. I do. That's why I was asking.
That's why you're a dumb bitch. Yeah, we can.
What?
Damn it, Logan.
So
I mean,
your thoughts on the
COO who's in charge of the unveiling of the logos, I guess, finally said something today. He just tweeted out the Anchorman gif of that escalated quickly of everybody shaming it. Like, it's hysterical how many people have come out to roast it. I don't think I've seen a single positive thing about it. Somebody came out and said that it was a Trump comb over. I can't understand that now.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, oh, it's terrible. Here, I'll even link that picture so you guys can enjoy that.
No, I can't because I'm too busy trying to draft 9 teams at once.
Oh, I already sent it to the group chat so you guys can look at it. But
The only nice thing is on the reverse way back, if there's a player that I really want, I have 2 picks to get him. Because I'm like, oh, I want that guy. Mass can't steal him.
so, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm hoping that they come out with something different. I did see somebody who kind of made a point, though. As bad as the logo may be, what really matters at the end of the day is the uniforms.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
They
interesting.
fucked those up.
Well, I feel
It's
like
going to be a goddamn riot.
just
So here's the
recently they
thing,
came-
though. Even if the logo is kind of terrible, I'm kind of excited for you guys to have matching uniforms and not look like a bunch
So
of
am I.
like cards
And
from a
the thing
Madden
that
Ultimate Team.
The thing that makes me feel better too is we thought that they were going to just a purely blue and white scheme. By having the horn in yellow, it means they're keeping the royal yellow and royal blue. So I'm excited about that.
No, no. You guys are doing green and yellow.
Green and yellow, green and yellow.
Green and yellow.
Man, that was telegraphed.
So we still got to talk about 2 other fans. We still got to talk about Paul and Mass.
All right, so talk about me.
So Mass, what kind of sports fan are you?
I said talk about me, and he goes, "Fuck you."
No.
So apparently I'm a realist fan. Paul defined this last night as
This morning,
being wary of success, but being realistic in how the team actually is going to end up, which I guess I could say is true. I mean, I went into the Super Bowl thinking we were going to win it, and then it was just all downhill from there.
Just like the Steeler game.
Which-
I seem to recall you telling us the Rams were going to lose that Super Bowl.
No. I came around, and it was just at the end of it, I was like, we're going to go in there, we're going to beat the Patriots, we're a good team. And then they proved me wrong.
Yeah, they did.
That they did. So, Todd Gurley is also unhappy with the team right now.
Because of the uniforms?
No, because of his future with them, possibly.
Well, you guys are dicking them around. Fuck you, man.
He didn't look good last year.
It was again, dear.
He's gonna be so good this year.
Probably turn
But-
that off.
So Paul is also... Paul, what did you define yourself as?
Well, no. So like, we're going to talk about what we think of you as a fan. I was just being an
All
asshole, but it kind of sparked this.
Well, I'll tell you
All right.
So what do you guys? What kind of like fans do you think Matt is? Like you like the way we've been talking about.
Massey is a fan that hates his own team.
So Mass is still new. Everything is still new to him, I feel. It's like he's still, he hasn't settled into his own yet.
Mass is a classic slow expectations guy. No, it's just like you're one of those things where it's like if you hope for the worst, you can never be disappointed. You can only be surprised. Which is pretty much what everybody at this table's sex life has been like for the past decade.
15.
You're right.
15.
No, but...
Kendall didn't lose his virginity until yesterday.
That's right.
It was to me.
And I found it again.
I mean, Kendall's not wrong. I mean, I have been watching sports a lot less than everybody else at that table. I definitely did not watch baseball until I started dating Ashley, and even then.
Remember when you were a Saints fan?
For a year, yeah.
Yeah, good thing you got off that whiny bandwagon.
Well, it's not like I hopped onto a bandwagon. I hopped onto the wagon of a 2-14 team.
No, I didn't say you were a bandwagon. God, calm down.
But
Homer!
yeah,
Homer!
So Paul,
Yeah.
what type of fan are you?
A crushed fan. Hold on, I gotta do this like double draft thing here.
I was laughing in our group chat when Paul described himself as a memorial fan. I like chuckled out loud when I read that.
No, Kendall didn't laugh out loud. He just went, huh.
No, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, alone in my office.
Oh, he has an office.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know that I have one.
I was looking out my window.
Not that I see out that window. But it was funny. But I think Paul is a fan because he comes from a rich sports pedigree where, you know, the teams have a winning mantra.
I'm a frustrated sports fan. I'm a fan that constantly, through a lot of my teams, have seen a lot of promise get dumped down the drain due to stupid executive or coaching decisions. But no matter how much I bitch and moan, I don't miss games. Well, like, I mean, I miss Bears games, but that's just because they're like not on TV, and like it's just I can't get them on, like, you know, whatever. Because like football's harder because it's like you got shit going on. It's like, you know, like you can't just. I don't care what anybody says. You can't be a family man, a friend, and like a functioning member of society and have 17 Sundays free in a row. It just doesn't work.
Have we talked about...
I'm a frustrated fan. I'm definitely a pessimistic fan when it comes to football, for sure.
So I've noticed something with Paul, and it's mostly with football, where the pessimism thing kicks in, but I think it's mostly so that if it pans out that way, you can be like, yeah, I knew. But then, like,
low expectations.
But then, like, when it doesn't, it's like, yeah, I knew. So I think it kind of lets you bounce both ways, which I like.
See, but the thing for me is, like, the reason, like, football is fourth for me at this moment in time is because you start off the season 0-3, and it's just like, all right, well, it's pretty much done. The rest of this is a wash. But the Blackhawks are, like, 9 points out of a wild card spot with 20 games to go. They could still very well get a wild card spot. Like, there's so much more time to be excited.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating for me. I'm a frustrated sports fan. That's the type of sports fan I am.
I get that.
So, all right. So let's go to break real quick. Let's get everybody kind of Mass. You can kind of get reacclimated with your car situation. We're all going to figure out this drafting thing, and then when we come back, I think Mock had something he wanted to do.
Yeah, we could get into it.
All right. So we're going to come back, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah. And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk live on the PPRN Radio Network. I'm joined by a bunch of degenerates, assholes, and motherfuckers. The Maskers Massey.
The Maskers Massey.
Hello. My friend Cyborg Sciagra Cyrus Amundsen.
First picture.
All right, Mock, what's your segment?
I'm pulling it up.
Nope, I need to know now. You had 10 minutes.
I just got to pull
Pick
up
the guy you're drafting.
I'm getting there. Kyle Van.
Yeah, Mock's not my friend anymore.
I'm moving on to my second beer. Dave's Kick Save IPA
I've reviewed that.
from
How was it?
New Haven. I don't know. I don't remember how Paul enjoyed it. 7%.
Okay, so here we go. So I started following this page on Instagram. It's called Stat Loading, and they do these cool things where they show like a silhouette of a player, and they give you the college and then teams that they played for, and you guess the player. So it's pretty much NFL primarily. So I figured I could read off the colleges or the teams they played for.
I like this game.
Then they give you a hint as to what years they played for each team, and then you guess the player.
All right. I've seen
All right.
these. I like this.
So here's the first one. This player played college ball at Pitt. He played for the Eagles, the Bills, and the Chiefs.
Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs.
Yes.
Is it LaShawn McCoy?
Does anyone else have a guess?
I missed
Sean
it.
McCoy.
So this player played his college football at Pitt.
Oh, this is no fun that we're doing this because Kyle's just going to know him.
No, Kendall got it right.
And he played for
I know,
the
but you're
Eagles,
just gonna know him.
the Bills, and the Chiefs.
I mean, LaShawn McCoy fits that bill perfectly. So yeah.
It's Charlie Morton. No, it's LaShawn McCoy. The next one here, I believe this is Villanova's logo.
Is it a V?
It's a V and a star.
A
Like
V and what?
Vanderbilt.
That's
Oh, Vanderbilt.
Villanova's the swords.
Okay.
Right, Kyle?
They don't have any swords.
Thought it was the
So
other way
Vanderbilt's also the swords?
No, Villanova just has a V that's like light blue, and
Who's got the swords?
around. That's Vanderbilt.
I guess they have both.
So Vanderbilt is
Reese Hoskins off
orange-
the board, Kyle.
The orange and like brown and weird one. Villanova is blue and white.
So this player played at Vanderbilt.
Okay.
He was a Bronco, a Bear, and a Dolphin.
Jay Cutler.
Oh, Jay Cutler.
Damn.
It's Jay Cutler.
After thinking about it, but
Kyle, what is that one there?
Utah.
All right, this guy played at Utah.
Is it Eric Weddle?
He was a Charger, a Raven, and a Ram.
He is Eric Weddle.
boo.
Nailed it.
All right.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
So Eric Weddle and Ben Roethlisberger apparently are really good friends. And then when his time in San Diego was up, he's like, "Hey, I want to go to Contender." Instead of going playing with his good friend Ben Roethlisberger, he went and played with the Ravens, and that forever steams me.
That's funny as hell. He probably did that on purpose.
He probably did, and for that reason, he's a rat, just like me.
Well, let's be honest. If it was any of you, it was like, oh, I could go play with my best friend, or I could go play against him and say, fuck you. Definitely would play against them.
I guess, but I don't have to like it.
That's fair enough. Mock, what else you got?
I was making my draft choice.
Oh, all right.
So up next, Kyle, is that Rutgers?
It is.
All right, this guy played at Rutgers.
Rebecca Sanderson.
Was he drafted by the Patriots?
He was a Patriot,
Yep.
and he was a Titan.
McCourty.
Yep.
Sony Michelle.
Jason McCourty.
Was there any other guess?
Mike Vrabel.
If you'd like, I could tell you the years that he played for these teams.
I would
Sure,
like that.
go ahead.
So
You, Kyle.
he played.
I got my closers set.
He played for Rutgers 2010 to 2012. He was a Patriot from 2013 to 2016, and he was a Titan from 2017 to present.
Oh, is it
Jason McCourty.
Kyle, is that your final answer?
No, McCourty's back on the Patriots.
Yeah. And
He's currently a member of the Titans, you jackass.
Is it Malcolm Butler?
Logan Ryan.
The answer is Logan Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, after I said Malcolm Butler, I knew it was Logan Ryan. So screw you guys.
This player was a Florida Gator, a Denver Bronco,
Tim
and a
Tebow.
New York Jet.
Tim Tebow. And a New England Patriot.
Joakim
It is
Noah.
Tim Tebow. Oh, my
He's
pick.
also the favorite player of somebody at that table.
Not a favorite player, but he was given a raw deal.
Wasn't good.
What was the question?
He wasn't a good quarterback.
Won a playoff game.
So did a lot of
8-1.
other quarterbacks.
I'm not saying he was the next coming.
Trent Dilfer
but he
Luke
should have been given
Luke McCown won 2 playoff
He
games.
should have been given a chance.
He was.
He was not.
He was.
You know, Sage Rosenfels beat the Bengals twice in the wild card round.
This player played at Alabama. He was a Packer, a Redskin, and a Bear.
Quentin Diggs.
Yep. All right, so
There you
Kyle's
go.
not allowed to go first anymore.
Yeah.
All right, we got a Miami, I believe, right? That's the Miami, the U there.
Hurricane.
Miami Hurricane. He was a Bear, a Falcon, a Raven, and a Seahawk.
Devin Hester.
There.
Good job, Paul.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. he
What's
played
funny
for all
about the
those
Devin
other teams.
Hester one is they just left his silhouette and put his name. Didn't put the picture of him.
I didn't realize he played for all those other teams.
We have another Florida Gator who was a Viking, a Seahawk, a Jet, and a Bill.
A Viking, a Seahawk, a Jet, and a Bill.
Yes.
Was
Percy
it
Harvin.
It's Percy Harvin. Let's see here. All right. We have another Pitt player who was an Eagle, a Patriot, and a Titan.
From Pitt. Eagles, Patriots, Titans. Is he currently with the Titans?
Yes.
Eagles, Patriots, Titans.
Eagles.
Oh, is it a fucking running back?
That's not a name.
Deion Lewis.
It's Deion Lewis.
Yeah, that's.
All right.
Thank you, Mass.
Kyle, is that
Happy I
Washington?
can help, Kyle.
It is.
All right, this guy played at Washington.
Nate Robinson.
He was a Chief, a Ram, and a Raven.
Played at Washington.
Marcus Peters.
It's Marcus Peters.
It is, yes.
So I'll do a couple more here.
No, you got to keep this going until 10:30. You should have taken a half hour.
I know, but I thought you guys would need more hints.
You're asking a thing about based on college questions to
Kyle,
Kyle.
what is that one there?
Maryland.
Maryland. This guy was a 49er, a Bronco, and a Redskin. Kendall, you should know this.
I'm sorry. One more time.
49er, a Bronco, and a Redskin from Maryland.
Was it Vernon Davis?
God damn it. He's right.
It's Vernon Davis.
Good job, Mass. Bitch.
The college logo appears to be some type of hornet.
Georgia Tech.
Correct.
This player was a Bronco, a Texan, and a Jet.
Oh, Decker.
That's right.
It's wrong.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, he's never a Texan.
Was he never a Texan?
Was never a Texan.
Can I have the teams again?
Georgia Tech, Denver,
Trying to get this White Sox thing going early.
Houston, Jet.
Pick though.
Denver, Houston.
All right, so
Jets.
who did Houston hate so much that they sent him off to the Jets to die?
Thomas Jones.
No. 'Cause he was a bear.
Sorry, so what are we doing again? Just one more time. Sorry, I'm trying to do two drafts. at a time.
Denver, Houston, Jets.
Denver, Houston Jets from Maryland, and who did we
From Georgia.
from Georgia Tech?
Georgia.
Yeah.
And who did we eliminate?
Eric Decker.
Yeah.
That's really the only person that was like a
So
solid.
49er. Oh, sorry, wrong. one.
Bronco, Texan, Jet.
So
Bronco.
somebody that the Texans hated so much that they sent him to the Jets to die.
Bronco, Texan, Jet.
Trying to think of running backs
Oh,
that.
no, he was a Brown. Never mind.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Oh, wait a minute.
Demaryius Thomas.
Good job.
No,
Yes.
he wasn't a Jet, was he?
He
Yes,
is
He
currently
is a Jet.
They
I
got the
tried
Patriots.
him a week at fantasy.
They forgot the Patriots.
Was it?
He didn't play a game for the Patriots.
play.
No.
He never played.
That's right. So like the Tebow one only showed Broncos, Jets. Is that Michigan?
It didn't show Patriots or Dolphins, right?
I'm not going to say that one because I know it.
All
And
right.
I think
All
Paul
right,
knows it.
Le'Veon Bell.
No, you know it.
This player played at Michigan. He was a Raider,
Michigan
a
or
Pack.
Michigan State?
Michigan. A Raider, a Packer, and then a Raider.
Raider.
Oh, Charles Woodson.
Yes.
One of three Packers. One of three Packers. I'll admit my love for.
So as I find the next one, there's this Instagram page I come across every once in a while. Oh, I thought Kyle drafted Gary Sanchez, and I
I
was
didn't
going
mean
to
to
smack
pick
him
him.
in the face.
I didn't mean to pick him.
It's a good pick though.
Who'd you pick?
Mike Moustakas.
Well, Kyle, I was going to take him, so that was cool.
God damn it. The guy I wanted is still right there.
I think your team looks pretty good, to be honest with you.
Kyle, what is that logo?
Arizona State.
All right, this guy went to Arizona State. He was a Raven, a Cardinal, and a Chief.
Raven, Cardinal, and a Chief.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Don't know how crazy you're going to be
That's
about
not
this
right.
pick, but I'm going to pick him anyway.
That's not right. He went to LSU. He
All
played
right,
for all
so,
three
hold on.
teams. No, he didn't.
He wasn't a Raven.
I'm going to shoot myself in
Who
the
is this
fucking
guy?
throat.
Do you guys want the years?
No.
No, can you say the thing again? Sorry.
He went to Arizona State.
Yep.
He was a Raven, a Cardinal, and a Chief.
Terrell Suggs.
Terrell
Good
Suggs.
job, Paul.
Fuck. Oh, here we go.
Hit the wrong goddamn
Oh, wait.
button.
They didn't give me the answer.
Fuck.
All right, Kyle, that seems kind of derogatory.
No, I'm like so mad at him.
Whoa, yeah!
So
mad.
this player played for the Tennessee Volunteers. He then went to Pitt and was a Bill and then a Raider.
Tennessee, Bill, and a Raider.
Kendall, you should know this one.
He was a Bill and then a
All right,
Raider.
So he transferred to Pitt from Tennessee and was a Bill and then a Raider.
Nathan
Correct.
Peterman.
Yeah.
Richie Incognito.
Oh, no.
He was a Dolphin.
This guy went to UCF, was a Raider, a Viking, and then a Saint.
Let's see. Raider, Viking, Saint from UCF.
Blake Bortles.
You should know this, Mass,
Why?
because that's your school.
Central Florida's his school.
That's where he met Michael Jordan.
Oh.
Would you guys like the years?
No. So Raider, Viking, Jet.
Correct.
Raider Viking
Wait,
Jet.
Raiders, Vikings. Jets,
Oh, sorry,
Raiders,
Saint.
Vikings,
Sorry, Saint. Sorry.
All right.
Apologies.
Raider, Viking, Saint.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Raiders, Vikings.
Kendall, what do you think?
I'm actually looking for the Vikings and the Saints connection. That's what's trying to. That's where I'm trying to bridge that.
South Florida.
Central.
Latavius
Central
Murray.
Florida.
Latavius Murray.
Wow. Nice.
God, I always forgot he was a Raider.
Got to replug my headphones here. I unplugged them. Oh, my God. Kyle, it happened. Get over it.
Kyle, I'll trade you Mike Moustakis for Bryce Harper.
That's not who I mean, okay.
I also want $150 in cash.
All right. This player was an Ohio State Buckeye,
The Ohio State.
a 49er, a Brown, a Jaguar, and then a Texan.
I'm out on this
Wow.
one because I'm looking. I'm drafting right now, so I'm out. I'm out on this one, guys.
Paul, your answer, please.
This guy's real fucking funny, huh?
The Jaguars really throwing me off.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know this guy was a Jaguar.
Defense?
He's an offensive player.
Shit.
Can you say the four teams again?
Niner, Brown, Jag, Texan.
Oh,
Is it Cecil
I know
Shorts?
those the last two teams he
It's
played
not.
for. It's not Jeff Garcia, is it?
It is not.
It's offense, though, right?
Offense. He's an offensive cornerback.
Oh.
No, he's an offensive player.
Oh.
Is it kind of like a crappy receiver?
I couldn't fucking click the button.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Were you thinking Cecil Shorts? Because Kyle guessed him.
No. I was just thinking of somebody random. I don't know.
Stevie Johnson?
No, he played for Buffalo.
Would you like
Oh,
the
yeah,
years?
Yeah.
He was a Niner from 2014 to 2017, a Brown in
Oh my God,
2018,
this is that
a
recent?
Jag in 2018, and then a Texan in 2019 to now.
Holy shit. That recent?
That recent.
Trying to think of tight ends that didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to rack my brain on right now.
All right, I'm sorry to do this again. Can we repeat this again?
Hold on. Oh, it's the running back. Running back. What's his name?
I don't know. I don't know what the teams are. so
He
I
was a
can't help you.
Niner from 2014 to 2017, a
Fuck,
Brown
I
in
can't remember
20
his name.
a Brown in 2018, a Jag in 2018, and then a Texan last year and is currently a Texan.
Because he backed up for Duke Johnson last year. What was his fucking
Carlos
name?
Hyde.
Carlos
Yeah,
Hyde.
They
He
did-
didn't, no,
they got-
Carlos. Duke Johnson backed up for Carlos Hyde.
I did not know Carlos Hyde was a Jaguar.
I had no
He
idea.
was for like
He got traded.
last year. Last year.
Don't even
Yeah,
remember
he got
that.
traded from the Browns because he was being pissy.
Just so you guys know, when you drop beer on your phone and it kind of solidifies, it makes it impossible to hit the draft button, and then you get stuck with an outfielder that you don't want.
Yep.
That's not what happened to you, Kyle. It was a different thing.
I know.
It wasn't that.
This guy went to Texas A&M. He was a Dolphin and then a Titan.
DeAndre Walker.
Kenny
Safety
Stills.
set?
No
wait,
one knows.
That's
Yeah.
that was not Kenny
I almost said Kenny Stills.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why. It was like right in my head. Ronnie Brown.
Incorrectamundo.
No, it was a joke.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
What about that 7-year stint he had with the Packers?
I thought you said he went to the Saints, not the Titans.
I said Titans.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's what happens when you don't have bows.
This player was a Miami Hurricane, a Cardinal, and then a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Cardinals and a
Hurricane.
Jack.
Cardinal.
Cecil Shorts the third. His name. Alan Hearns.
Kenyon
Incorrect.
Drake.
Incorrect.
Not Kenyon Drake?
It's not Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake was not a Jaguar.
Well, I thought you said,
Cardinals, Jaguar.
I thought you said Dolphins.
I know they kind of rhyme, but no.
Offensive defense.
Defense.
Chandler Jones.
Incorrect.
No, he's still a Cardinal, isn't
He was also a
Yeah.
Patriot.
he?
Getting a very heavy. What's his name? He's the defensive pass rusher. Calais Campbell.
It's Calais Campbell.
Yeah.
How many more of these would you guys like to do?
All of them.
Because I'm kind of running
These are
out.
fun.
How many more you got?
I don't know. Because I'm just scrolling through the Instagram page. And it's also,
That's all right. We'll go
we'll
with
shout them out
Rover.
here. It's Stat Loading. Check them out. They post some fun stuff. This player was a Miami Hurricane, a Niner, a Colt, a Dolphin, and a Bill.
Frank Gore.
Yep.
That's where my brain goes the second you say Hurricane.
Okay. I usually think devastation and disaster.
Oh, Kyle, that's funny. I was going to do that.
Well, I mean, Frank Gore, same thing.
Just cover for me.
Did you guys see that Josh Norman signed with the Bills?
Yeah, who cares?
Who?
Josh Norman.
Did he?
Yeah, trying to, play out his glory days in Bills Mafia.
I mean, there's worse places to go out.
Yeah, what a steep fall for him.
Well, he's just a guy that was not that good.
Well, McDermott was his coach when he was with the Panthers and had that those 2 really good years, wasn't he?
I guess. Yeah, I guess that would be the right timeline. I'm trying to remember.
Because they went to Washington for like 3 or 4 years.
I remember that was the signing that everyone was talking about. Like, oh wow, Josh Norman, blah blah blah. He's gonna tear it up in Washington, and did just the opposite of that.
He's just a guy, like we see it all the time with corners that
Look at Tremaine Johnson.
they're good for a little while. They have that one great year, and then they're really not that good.
Yep.
Tremaine Johnson just proved that. Just how much money did he just rob the Jets of?
46 mil. No, I don't know.
It's a lot more than that.
Kyle, that
Because
one's
he gave him
Vanderbilt,
like
right? Or sorry,
Virginia.
4 years,
Oh,
$72
Paul,
million
the Swords
deal
is
or something
Virginia.
like
Huh?
The Swords is Virginia.
Yeah, I knew.
so this player went to Virginia. He was a Ram, a Patriot, and an Eagle.
Chris Long.
that. Chris Long.
Mash, you lost.
The worst of the Long brothers. Or the worst of the Long family. It goes Howie, Kyle, Jake, who's not actually related, and then Chris.
This player went to North Carolina.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, he's right.
Was a
Jerry Stackhouse.
was a Panther, A bear, a packer, and a panther.
Mushin Muhammad.
No.
No, Julius Peppers.
Yes.
Moose and you see the names we're throwing out, and you throw out Moose and Muhammad? Which is the second time you've bullshitted that name out of your fucking face the past week?
It's a good name.
It's not. You. Never mind. Don't
This
want to actually
player-
get derogatory there.
This player was a Florida State Seminole, a Cardinal, a Raven, a Niner, and a Lion.
Wow.
Cardinal?
A Raven, a Niner, and a Lion.
Anquan Bolden.
Correct.
Ah, good on you, Paul. Damn.
A lot of people forget he played with the Lions.
I certainly did.
Might have been the last one.
All right. Deion Sanders.
I got one more. Michigan State Patriots.
Tom Brady.
Bingo.
No. He went to school at New England.
He went to school at the Belichick of Hard Knocks at University. Dickfuck.u, another book. Hey, Mass, how long till you're home? What's your ETA?
45 minutes.
So this Instagram page, they also do like these like who would you rather have type thing. So they have a couple here that I think are kind of interesting. So the first one is who
Ariana Grande,
No.
Demi Lovato.
which wide receiver would you want for next season, the 2020 season? Stephon Diggs or Cortland Sutton?
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
I just don't think I don't think he's properly utilized in that offense. I think that offense has too many weapons with a quarterback that doesn't know how to utilize a platoon of weapons. I think he benefits more from having like that one go-to guy, and that he makes that one go-to guy feeling. I feel like Diggs could be a top 5 receiver in an offense that knows how to use him a little better.
Fair enough. Then this is a which running back would you rather have for next season? Joe Mixon or Josh Jacobs? So I'll throw this at you guys also. They each had one fumble last year. Josh Jacobs
They're
had
two very
13.
different kind of backs, though.
Jacobs had 1,316 yards. Mixon had 1,424. Jacobs had 7 total touchdowns to Mixon's 8 total touchdowns. So Mixon with 100 more yards and 1 more touchdown.
I'm gonna go with Jacobs.
Yeah. I think that's a very, very close. I would really say that's 1A and 1B. You can't go wrong there.
Hey, I have a question just for the rest of this draft, real quick. These are so we have 2 starting pitcher spots, 2 relief pitcher spots, and then 5 pitcher spots. If you have somebody in that pitcher spot, does that mean that their stats count?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would have been good to know that earlier. I just thought that was your pitcher bench.
Oh, God, I'm next.
Oh, shit, Mass is up.
Mass is up.
Mass, what do you need?
So, yeah, pretty much that was all the guess the players I had.
All right, so I'll ask you guys. Do you guys have time to do the segment that I asked you guys to do the homework for in 24 hours?
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
do that. We'll do that in the 3rd hour. We'll finish up the hour with
Okay.
that.
All right.
Just because it's 10 o'clock. It's going to take more than a half hour. Kendall, you said you had something you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't say that, but he watch it. Let's see what he comes up with. Let's see what he comes up with on the fly. All right, most millimeters pissed in an hour.
It's a board game, right?
How many rounds
The
are there?
ball.
Like
Oh.
75.
Hold on. How many rounds are there in this draft, Kyle?
Like 22, 23.
There's more than that. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to do the math of battery percentage decrease versus rounds. What, Mass?
You said you had like a 10-minute segment you wanted to do.
Yeah, we did that before you were on the phone.
What was it?
What kind of sports fan are you?
I was here for that.
You caught the tail end of it.
No.
What
guys-
kind of sports
I'm
fan is
terrible
Rebecca?
You guys want to talk about controversial Lady Bing candidates?
What?
You talk about Lady Bing favorites?
We're talking about that.
All right, Kendall, lead us off.
Okay.
Chandler
Harvey-
Bing was my favorite character on Friends.
Harvey Wimbledon.
I was trying to think of the name for in Batman. Two-Face. What's the name of his?
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
You know what, though? Let's do this. I like the thing. All right, so for the next season, we'll just go about it throughout all kinds of sports. Okay? Cool. All right. So, going into next season, who would you rather have on your team at shortstop? Carlos Correa or Tim Anderson?
I'm going to take Tim Anderson because I think Carrera's going to get a lot of balls thrown
No,
at him.
like take away the cheating aspect of it. Like, I mean, just off of like what they're going to produce for you offensively and defensively.
Carrera, just because he's a better fielder.
Okay,
I think I would take Carrera.
it's fine. There's no one to be sad about it, guys.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, but see, aside from like
Everyone start thinking about one of these for any sport, just so you know, because we're going to keep going around the table with this. I'm just because I knew I'd go like, oh, Kendall, what about you? Oh, I thought this was a one-time thing.
we're not done.
Rap.
So here's my non-baseball fan questioning of this. A lot of stats floated around in the wake of the cheating, just showing the difference between the home games and the away games, and Correa was one of the biggest drop-offs.
Him and Altuve.
Right. So he may be great at shortstop. How much is he going to hurt you on offense?
Not hit it down year. His rookie year, they weren't a part of that, and he fucking killed it.
Well, we don't know. That's the biggest thing with this whole thing, Kyle, is that now we don't know.
They still have to be able to hit a fastball. They still have to be able to hit a curveball.
You're absolutely right. But if you're at the batter when you know what's coming,
it doesn't matter. You still have to be able to hit it.
It does matter. It does matter, Kyle. Come on.
Well, one thing I mean, we've talked about this in a little bit of depth, and we don't have to continue because it's already been talked about a billion times. I bet you there's teams out there that have been using similar practices, and the Astros were the team to get caught.
World Series in 3 years, yeah, that's probably true.
I think
the fact that they won the World Series is what is pissing people off.
So here's the thing. I'm not disagreeing with you that they're not a talented team. The point that I'm making is that this whole thing raises doubt with this team. Are they talented?
Well, we'll find out this year when they kick ass.
If the Astros go to a World Series this year, then the whole thing is a moot point. It will never be talked about again.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if the Astros go out and only win 70 games this year?
I mean,
then what?
Ace, they're down.
No. It doesn't matter because their ace doesn't affect them stealing signs.
So what if they score 6 runs a game,
Kyle,
and lose?
If they go out and win, we'll say 70 games, then they're going to be
It's a big gray area because what if they score 6 or 7 runs a game, and they give up 8 or 9? Is that on the offense?
No,
exactly.
But the whole
it's a big
guy,
gray
I don't want
area.
this to turn into like the whole cheating thing. I just want this to be a friendly, just around the who would you rather have. So you 2 Carreras, Kendall.
I'm going to take a Correa as well.
Okay, Mass. Do you have an opinion?
Correa.
Okay, so Mass, you want to go next? Any sport, any position? Go ahead.
Any sport or any position. All right. Next year, are you taking Michael Thomas or Julio Jones?
Julio Jones.
Michael Thomas is younger.
It doesn't mean anything. It's for 1 year. We're talking about just next year.
Michael Thomas catches more.
Julio Jones has had 6 consecutive seasons of 1,400 yards.
Well, I think too, we have to.
Julio Jones is the best receiver in the NFL.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm
He might not be the most talented. DeAndre Hopkins and Michael Thomas might be more talented athletes, and with the ability to like these ridiculous catches and whatnot. But Julio Jones is the best receiver in the NFL.
So let me ask an informational question.
Oh, good pick on Correa there, Kendall.
It was just there.
Are we picking these players based on like who do we think is going to be better next year, or who would I want on my team right now?
So here's the deal. I want this to be looked at in a sense where it's like, God damn it, Rebecca. I don't want this to be looked at in a light where it's like, who would you rather have on the Giants? It's just like if you were building a fantasy team, not like fantasy like, think of it like fantasy like Madden, where you do a fantasy draft. Like you were building a team, and you were given the choice, okay, the 2 best players are Michael Thomas and Julio Jones. Who would you rather have? You know what I'm saying? Like not fantasy like points.
No, that's fine. So,
but like not for your specific team.
No,
either.
that's fine. Where I was getting tripped up is I was looking at like the offenses as a whole, like who But I think I would take Julio Jones because I think he's just more of a. I think he's better.
Julio Jones over like the past like 5 years in terms of receiving yards, like it's like not even close. Like historically, he's a fucking animal.
Yeah. Also, Michael Thomas whines a lot.
Yeah,
I'm pretty much over that.
I wanted to talk about that, about him bitching about the
Everything.
the Tony Romo thing though, where it's like
I saw
a commentator getting paid more than a player, blah 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 blah. Oh my god, all it is cry.
He is the biggest crybaby in the league.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're an uglier Scottie Pippen. Get over yourself.
He looks like Squidward's house.
Yes. So as a favorite, I would pick Jones, but I'm gonna
Barbecue
pick.
and foot massage?
Yeah. But I'm gonna pick Michael Thomas out of curiosity because I want to see how close numbers can be duplicated again compared to last year.
Let me tell you something. In 2 years' time, we're gonna find out when they decide that they're gonna start.
Taysom Hill.
Did you see they're doing a first-round tender on him?
Yeah.
I did.
No.
I did see that.
Do you know what that means, Kendall?
Well, no.
Basically, it means if somebody offers him a contract, the Saints match it and give them their first-round pick.
Okay.
So they're saying that he's worth a first-round pick.
And if he leaves, then they get a first round pick in return.
So we'll see. You know, stranger things have happened, but you know, it's at 29 years old. I think it's kind of late to get your.
It's gonna set their franchise
Fuck it,
back
let's-
if they make him though.
Oh, how do I draft them? I can't draft them?
Well, I'd be curious too, because you know.
What?
I searched a player that wasn't picked, and I couldn't hit draft.
Who is the player?
Dallas Keuchel.
Draft him from me, and then I'll trade you.
No.
I think that was supposed to be for you.
No, it's for me.
It said it was for Chris's team. That last pick.
Did it?
Yeah. So just curious, how many players do you think you drafted to your team that are on Mass's team?
No. So I auto draft. No, Mass is on the clock right now.
No, I was.
So I auto. This is why I didn't want to draft two fucking teams. I can't keep track of who I'm drafting for. So I auto drafted 9 players. Sorry, Mass. I don't even know who I picked. Who did Oscar? I picked someone who's not going to play this year.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, hopefully I'm doing better than Jeff.
Kendall, go ahead and do your thing before I throw my iPad at something.
All right. Trying to think. I had something in mind, and I kind of didn't think of the second player.
You take in, Kendall, do you want to think about it? And I'll go one more because I have one in mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
You take in Mahomes or you take in Watson next year?
Mahomes or Watson?
Yeah.
No,
Mahomes.
Sammy Watkins. Who you picking?
Mahomes.
Watson.
Mahomes.
Watson.
I think I might take Watson because I think the rushing implications are there.
But I mean, Mahomes. Oh, it's my pick. Oh my
How many
god.
times are you guys going to pee in one show? It's like the 9th time someone's pissed.
I mean,
Hey, look, I'm up in GSWD.
I think it's fair that you could say Mahomes can run just as well as Watson can.
No. He can't.
Not as well. He can scramble, but he can't run as well as Watson can.
All right, I guess I have one. I will wait for Kyle, but I'm intrigued by this. So I'm going to keep you guys on the back burner just for a second and talk about my beer. The Blades.
No, just do it.
All right. Zion or Anthony Davis next year in as far as kind of a fantasy basketball mentality.
Anthony Davis.
Pels, going Zion.
Yes.
Anthony Davis.
I heard Kyle say Zion on his way out.
That was a fart. I understand the miscommunication.
They all sound the same.
Oh,
Yeah, oh shit.
Anthony Davis, just from a fantasy standpoint, Anthony Davis is going to be in a position to get more rebounds. He's at this point he's much superior defensively, and he's playing with LeBron, so he's going to get a lot of buckets off assists.
This is true.
I think Zion's going to be. I think when it's all said and done, when the careers are over, barring like injury, obviously, I think Zion will have a better career than Anthony Davis.
I saw something, and I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a sports headline. But they said something like they mentioned one player, and then they said, well,
Rebecca, are you watching Raw?
Williamson would be legendary.
Nobody decided to tell me that Edge just hit an RKO on Randy Orton?
Well,
that side of the room, assholes.
She also was not watching Raw.
Yeah, well, that's why your fucking feet are juicy. Yeah, because you have cankles and there's no blood circulation down there.
All right, I got one. Over the next 3 years,
Spice it up.
yeah, would you rather have Giannis or Kawhi?
Giannis.
Giannis, this is how I say it.
Giannis, because he plays 82 games.
Giannis.
Kawhi if you want to win.
Why? Because he went to the Raptors and they won? Because the Clippers aren't doing it this year.
You don't know that.
I do. The Clippers have shown me nothing that proves that they're an NBA championship caliber team.
Neither the Raptors to the playoffs. I think the Raptors were going to win into the playoffs.
But I mean, for a few years, weren't
Yeah,
they?
but the Clippers were like, they're going to win it. Like, nobody had the Raptors pegged to win it at the beginning of the year. The Clippers were favorites to win it.
I drank that by accident.
What are you drinking?
Just the beard's been sitting out here.
Oh, God. God bless you.
Enjoy your coronavirus.
Does anybody know anybody that's gotten corona yet?
Yeah,
Nope.
he's in his car on the way back from Boston.
Wow, God. Two jokes targeting two players.
Bang, 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 bang. All right. Next season, you guys want Tannehill or Winston?
Winston.
Give me Tannehill. He had that LASIK surgery.
That was Winston that had that.
Was it Winston?
Shot.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Pull over.
Crash your car.
no, I have to take 2 shots when I get home anyways. I have to take one for not being on the show tonight and one for that. But Winston.
Max, can I ask you a question? Are you holding your phone while you're driving?
No.
No? All right, never mind then.
Why?
Just curious.
Because of how bad the sound is?
Well, no, it sounded like you moved your phone close to your mouth and you were talking for a second. But
No, the speaker
Thanks for
is
that, Paul.
left of my head.
Why, did you want him?
So I could.
Yeah, I was going to
I
take
can.
Oh, I
look
think
towards the
I thought you
speaker to
hated
be
him.
closer.
oh, I got
You
you.
should. Hey, are you drafting right now?
Yep.
After you pick, can you grab me 2 more of the Guinness?
We're going to take a flyer here.
He's out for the year, but all right.
No, he's not.
He's not out for the year.
Will be. He's getting second thoughts on Tommy John.
All right.
They just said he's not getting Tommy John. They said if he gets Tommy John, it'll be next offseason.
Adam
What are we
Vinatieri.
talking about?
It's just for 1 year.
Yep. Adam Vinatieri, a young Hoku. Young
Vinatieri.
Hoku.
Yeah. I didn't want all of them, but I'll just say it. It's fine.
Vinatieri or who?
A young Hoku who's trending major upwards.
In the XFL.
I'm taking Young Hoku because Vinatieri fell off hard last year.
Vinatieri.
Yeah, well, you mean Vinatieri right now?
Yeah, next season.
Yeah.
A young Hoku who's been cut twice.
Vinatieri.
But he's trending upwards.
Yeah, so are you.
Thank you.
Yeah, not for anything good.
Oh. Well, then how does that work?
You're trending upwards in, like, being an ass.
Fair.
I'm taking Vinatieri.
I would.
I'm taking Vinatieri.
Souls?
Young Hoku because I don't know if Vinatieri's playing this year.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. Obviously, if you pick him, he's going to play. This is a hypothetical. All right. Would you rather have... Think.
Think.
All right.
Kyle, don't take my guy. Come on.
All right. Would you rather have Trout in Strasburg or
How's he still there?
hold on.
Thanks, Kyle.
Sorry. No, I got it. I'm just... All right,
So-
would you rather have Trout in Strasburg or Yelich and Kershaw?
Trout and Strasburg.
It's actually a decent question. Because it's hard to argue with Trout just for obvious reasons. I don't know. But you think about Strasburg. He's a guy who is battled injury. Came off a great year, but I think, in my opinion, is kind of on the back end of his career already. Where the model of consistency for a pitcher is kind of in Clayton Kershaw. It's just been like automatic year in, and no matter how old he is, it's kind of been the same. You're getting the same numbers every year, the same efficiency.
Did Kershaw give up back-to-back homers during the playoffs last year?
But a lot of pitchers have done like that happens. It's just it's a shame that the Dodgers are snake bitten like that. I'm going to take Kershaw.
Souls?
Trout and Strasburg.
Mass?
Trout.
I'm taking Yelich and Kershaw.
So, my explanation for going the Trout-Strasburg route is I think that, and I guess the argument can be made the opposite way,
Rebecca,
too.
hold on. Kendall, when you come back up, can you please take Ohtani the pitcher?
That was my plan.
Rebecca, don't take Ohtani the pitcher, please. You don't need him. It's not worth it. He's not don't do it. It's not. I don't care what the rankings are. Just let Kendall have both. Kendall's up before you.
I don't think he is.
It goes Rebecca back to back, and then Kendall.
I saw a different yellow hat icon there, or green hat, yellow circle.
Dumb fuck.
So wait, why do we want Kendall to have Ohtani?
Just because he picked Ohtani the batter, I think it would just be funny for someone to have to say.
I didn't realize there were separate categories.
Yeah, I had the batter last year.
All right, so let's see. Would you rather? Did you finish your explanation?
So, I didn't even start. So, I think that Trout is much better than Yelich, and it's a greater gap than Kershaw right now is over Strasburg. Like, I think those two are closer, and I think you get the edge with Trout. But that same argument could be made the opposite way.
I think you get more consistency out of Kershaw than you do out of Strasburg, though.
I agree. But what I mean is, I think that Trout is better than Yelich more than Kershaw is better than Strasburg.
No, I agree with that, but consistency plays a part of it too.
Right. I mean, from a monetary service standpoint, Kershaw has been like the best of the best. Now, does he have the hardware for hey, I won your
no.
championship? No,
He doesn't.
he doesn't. But he didn't sit out for however many months and months and months and months, and was winning games.
Who are you
Kyle,
referencing?
you watching
then?
the thing?
Me.
What thing?
No, he's not there.
Trying to think of another one kind of on the fly here.
I kind of have one.
What do you got?
Excuse me. Would you rather have imagine you're a general manager of sorts?
Well,
would
I
you,
am.
would you would you rather make a big splash signing in free agency? Let's say, for example, like Antonio Brown, kind of at his prime, all the craziness aside. Like, imagine you had him when, we'll say 2015 or whatever, and that was he was a free agent then. Or would you rather have a first round pick, like the number one pick last year? So I think, would you agree that last year we had a better draft class in general than this year, or no?
It's a good question.
All right, well, let's just assume that last year's draft class was better. Would you rather make that big free agent signing, a Antonio Brown caliber player, or have the first round pick last year?
I'll take the Antonio Brown caliber player because you know what you're getting. You have no idea what you're getting out of the draft pick.
So, Matt, last year, who would you have picked first? Jerry Seinfeld, Bosa?
Probably Bosa.
So who was first overall last year?
Kyler.
Oh, that's right. So
Nick Bosa's already better than Joey. He's so good.
So I guess, I mean, knowing what we know, I would take Antonio Brown over Kyler Murray.
But you don't. That's the thing.
But don't go off of Kyler Murray being the first. I'm just talking about. Imagine you're the Cardinals, and you're the GM. Imagine this situation: the two envelopes. You can make the signing. You have the money to make the signing, or you'll get the first round pick.
Like I said, I'm taking the player that I know what I'm getting with the player. You have no idea how many number one overall busts have there been.
Oh, many.
Well, I mean, how many free agent signing busts have there been?
Sure, but I mean, there's a lot more to say. You're making a stupid mistake when you go out and sign somebody.
Right.
I could have told you when the Jets made the signing of Tremaine Johnson, for example, that was a piss poor deal, and there's a reason we let him walk away.
So, Matt, I have a question. Regardless of the caliber of the player, let's say he was 7 seasons in, you were prepared, and especially at a skill position, you'd be more comfortable making that, signing rather than drafting?
If he's coming towards the tail end of his career, probably not.
Well,
I might take the gamble.
I'm not saying the tail end of his career. I just mean, perhaps,
Depends on if you're talking about a quarterback in his prime that has maybe another 10 years left, yeah, I'm taking the quarterback. I know what I'm getting out of that quarterback.
Let's assume it's not a quarterback, just a offensive and or defensive skill position. So
who's coming up for their first deal? Okay,
so
let's say that.
So we're
I'm taking the player.
I was omitting offensive, defensive linemen, and in some instances linebackers.
I'm taking the player 9 times out of 10, unless you get a perfect prospect like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. You do not take the gamble. It's not worth it. Draft picks, I think, turn out to be 50-50, probably even less than that. But
all right, well, anybody else?
I'm not just. I mean, I think the logical thing is you lean towards the, I guess, safer thing.
Would you rather have the top 3 picks in the draft, 1, 2, 3, and then the first pick in the second round and the first pick in the third round, or would you rather? So there's 32 picks per round. So, or would you rather pick every 7th pick for the first 2 rounds? So you'd be getting, we'll call it 32 and 32 is 64. 64 divided by 7. So we'll say, and you get the first pick in the third round. So you walk out of there with, it'd be 65 divided by 7. Kind of what's the math?
14.
That's it. Or so you'd be getting 9 picks versus 5 picks, but you'd be getting the first 3 picks in the draft.
I think I would take that one.
I'm taking the first 3 picks in the draft.
See, I'm going to pick every 7 picks. Because here's the deal. You can't package the top. You can't really package the top 3 picks. You can package having 9 picks. Yeah. You can package all your other first round picks.
I think it provides for a lot of diamond in the rough caliber players as well.
If you're getting picked 1, 2, or 3, it shouldn't be considered a diamond in the rough.
No.
You dumb bitch.
No, I bet
that should be enough to set your team up for
5 years from now.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. If you end up going every 7th pick, the 5th-year option drops way down.
Right. And you're not wrapping up as much in salary cap.
bad idea.
Plus, you can package picks.
I mean, you could give away any 1, 2, or 3 if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. It's not the same.
True.
I mean, you're gonna get a much bigger return for 1, 2, and 3 than you are for 7 or 14 or whatever else you're going down. You're gonna get a lot more return on those. And I seriously do not mean this as a shot. Look at what the Bears gave up to go to number 2 a couple of years ago. That's the kind of stuff you can pull to go up to that. Look at what the Rams gave up to go up for Jared Goff. You can pull a shit ton of picks for those premium picks at the time.
Yeah, but imagine how many picks you could pull for the 7th pick, the 14th pick, the 21st pick, the 28th pick.
But then, if you're packaging them individually and you don't get rid of all of them, I guess you're okay.
I mean, you still have the first overall pick.
So you have one and then draft every 7?
Yeah, so it would be 1, 7, 14, 21.
I'm taking that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood. I would take that one.
What did you think I meant?
I thought you meant like I have the 7th pick in each round.
No.
Okay.
You draft every 7th pick for the first 2 rounds. The other one was you have the top 3 picks
and then 1, 1, 1.
And then 1, 1, 1. No, yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1.
I would take the every 7 then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that I'm thinking about it, salary cap wise and everything like that.
Oh, Mass, money is not an option.
So, I mean, I kind of want to bounce back to the one that Kendall posed with like the Antonio Brown versus. I think the question can be tweaked a little bit if you don't have the super high end free agent.
So, I mean, I just chose him because it
Well,
just seemed intriguing.
So imagine instead of Antonio Brown, say it's like right now, do you want Emmanuel Sanders or that high pick?
Give me the first round pick.
That's right. So because there you're willing to take that gamble where he's an aging player who's been good. He's had good seasons last few years, but are you more willing to take the gamble there?
Right. So, and I get what you're saying. And I'm almost looking for a player because Sanders was.
You want to find the right balance. I get you.
Well, right. So I'm looking for a person who. I can't remember when Sanders was drafted. Now,
Sanders
was it the same as Brown? Was it the same?
Hey, it says the team's complete, but I got 4 more bench spots. What the fuck?
Do you really?
Yeah, so you scroll down on your queue or go to your results. You'll see you have 4 more bench spots.
I don't.
Oh, I do.
That's weird.
Mass does too.
Well, guys, it was nice doing fantasy baseball. We'll check this team out at the end of the year. See where everyone landed.
We're gonna go to break real quick. When we come back, we'll revisit Mass's monthly segment. So we'll see you guys on the other side of the break.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
All right, welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk live on the PPRN Radio Network and Spreaker.
Yep.
Did somebody contact the Mass?
Nope.
Mock, would you please?
I'll text him.
Thank you. Because we need him for this hour. So the GSWD baseball draft is over. And, yeah.
Kyle, can you give me a draft grade on all of us?
I'm sorry, I'm not part of the team anymore.
Oh, my
come
God.
on. Cut it out.
Such a Larry Souls.
I gotta screenshot every single photo.
You gonna screen shit?
Screenshot. Actually, I do that anyway.
Never know what you're going to find.
I'm just gonna spam Kyle right now. If I can find it.
Rebecca, help. I was kind of getting into that Lionel Richie song, though.
Good song.
What?
It's a good song.
Yeah. So, we got 3 guys looking at their phones here.
You know what's funny? The conversation was so short that it's not even a bother sending a message to Kyle. It was like, should we have this guy on? Yes or no? Yes. That was it.
I texted Mass. But it probably is not safe for him to read text while he's driving.
You know, he may be home. He may be, like, loading into his house.
Well, then he should have came here.
Let me rate the call.
5, really?
No, I want to.
How are they ever going to improve?
Oh, well, see, you know what's stupid? I just figured, Can you give a half star?
You can't give a half star, you jackwagon.
What should we? I heard echo on the call. I could not hear any sound. We can't.
Users eating sunflower seeds.
Is that an option? The guy was continuously spitting into a Gatorade bottle.
We really need him. He's got a segment here.
All right. I'll call him.
There you go.
Be proactive here.
Oh, guess you won't.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how. Sucks being stupid. Here we go. Where is Mass? This can doesn't explode.
I hope he got home and went right in the tub.
Oh, something went wrong. Mass draped the cord in the tub. Well, he'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Paul, you got a backup thing for us?
Oh, I'm not part of this anymore.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the Mock and Kendall show.
And Kyle.
The true friends.
Get it?
No.
You guys are true friends. I'm not.
Oh my God, Kyle.
Kyle, do you know we all got matching tattoos?
Yeah.
With your
On
face.
Each other, on your ass.
The location is none
says
of your business.
best friends forever.
You guys wouldn't even be friends if it wasn't for me.
That's not true.
I don't think that's true.
I'd be friends with Mock with or without your life involved.
And I'm really friends
There you
with
go.
Kendall because he let me put my sweatshirt in his locker.
I'm just saying, I'm friend,
that day.
but I'm just saying, I'm friends with each of you because of Kendall.
Kendall would have never met Mock. Wasn't for me.
Also untrue because we had a class together.
You didn't talk.
We didn't, and it's one of my greatest regrets.
Yeah, we blew it.
So all of our friendships are all really just entirely based on
Kendall.
your mom finding Bob attractive.
I'm just going to go hang myself. You guys have a fun day.
Yeah, could you do it outside? 'Cause
Yeah, I
it's gonna,
planned on it.
it's gonna smell after a while, and I don't want to do that to Peter.
Sounds derogatory.
Did anybody text me?
I texted him.
He must have just got home and he's rushing inside.
He's in the tub.
His pants probably fell down while he was running inside. He tripped and dropped the new computer.
Oh my! I gotta go back.
Oh God.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be? Would you rather have Klay Thompson or Bradley Beal?
Clay Thompson.
Well, are we talking right now, today?
Next year.
Oh, okay. Clay Thompson.
You fucking dumb shit.
I was saying, if it's right now, today, I would take me over Clay Thompson.
Really?
I'll at least get 30 seconds in a game. He's out. Oh,
Here is Mess. He smells
in
like
the
shit.
tub.
Oh, I want
The
to hang up
dry
so bad.
bitch. Hang up. Aw. Mess.
What?
Hello.
You in the tub?
Hello.
You in the tub?
No, I'm not in the tub.
Are you home now, though?
Yes.
Did the pants come off?
Yes.
I knew it. Are you a knit boxer guy or a cloth boxer guy?
Ooh, he's a boxer briefer.
Are you a boxer briefer?
I am not.
Now, you're a knit boxer guy, right?
I don't know what knit boxage is.
Knit boxer, so if you squat down right now, will they rip?
No.
So they're cloth.
Well, hold on. Because just kind of throwing it out there, they both will rip.
Do you have a button on the fly, like on the pee hole?
No.
Oh, those are canvas.
Ooh.
Burlap boxers, baby!
Wow.
I'm a boxer brief guy.
He's a tighty whitey guy.
Kyle's also a boxer brief guy. Mock?
So, I'm primarily a boxer guy.
Knit boxer?
Or with the button. But,
So like Hanes masks are like traditionally like a more like cotton.
Yeah,
Whereas
I
like
own both.
Fruit of the Loom usually go more of that knit route. If it's like a what's the pattern on your boxer? We're talking solid color.
Yeah.
What color?
Blue.
Brown.
They're like they started as white,
Oh! I looked at the tag. It says fecal colored.
but I
Essence
do
of corn.
I do own a few pairs of
Sports.
boxer briefs that I.
I
pepper in
love
from
boxer
time to time.
briefs. I love boxer briefs. I'm a large advocate of the boxer brief.
Like, all right.
Love them. Love them. You know why? Because when you take them off after 6 days,
When you peel them off.
yeah, so like right in the seam that goes where the crack meets the sack, the gooch,
Well, you're talking taint.
the gooch. It's so ripe smelling, and it's so like it's sweet, salty, and sour. It's basically like someone took a Sour Patch Kid and like dipped it in French onion dressing.
Hey, I got a question for you. You think
Kendall's
right,
like that's the exact taste it would be.
you think right now if we all pressured him enough, Kendall could give us 3 minutes of stand up?
Yeah, he would go straight into the astigmatism thing though.
Could you do 3 minutes?
I can do 3 minutes.
What's the
Well,
deal
go.
with the Mets?
I want to do 3 minutes of stand up.
Give us 3 minutes.
On live radio where there's no audience. That would be horrible.
Come on, give us 3 minutes.
He can't do it because he's cheeks. This
can do
dumbass.
I can do 3 minutes.
Do you want me to time you?
No, we don't need to time it. It just would be bad radio. A room with 3 people who've heard the jokes for 5 years.
Mass? Haha, Rebecca's not a person.
I'm not one of them, by the way.
Oh,
Kyle, I performed for you many times.
Nah, you're a bitch.
Kyle, you're not nice to me.
welcome to Feeling Bad with
Yeah.
Souls.
Welcome to the John Tesh hour of Fight Your Feelings.
Okay.
Welcome to All Things Considered.
Buy your friend beer and they shit on you.
You didn't buy any
No,
beer.
No.
That was part of a business transaction. You were given shotgun.
You know, real quick,
Oh, is that why he got shotgun?
Yeah.
You traded shotgun for beer?
Yep.
Well, it was funny because you're like, oh, you're buying Mox beer? And he's like, can I get shotgun? I was like, yeah.
For a $5 purchase? All right, Mass.
What?
You had a segment, you dumb bitch.
I had a segment. I'm currently booting the currently repaired computer up, so I don't have my stuff in front of me yet. But
All
my segment, it's booting, so I'll have it in like a couple minutes.
So why don't you
But,
just tell us what it's about, and then maybe someone else can go first.
So the idea that I had for the segment was essentially we would change the sport. So we would come up with a different sport each week. This week was baseball, and we would say, all right, here's two or three rule changes we want to make to try and make the game more interesting for newer watchers or people that have been watching the game for a while and have just, I guess, grown tired of it. I don't know another way to say it. To try and re-energize the sport. So that was what we came up to. I think that the only restrictions that we put on it were essentially no saying that cheating is okay. But yeah, that's kind of where we left it. So who wants to go first while I repair this?
Paul.
Paul,
Yes.
Kyle's asking you to go first.
All right, so I have to sell you guys on it, right?
Yep.
All right. So I understand I'm going against a great deal of history on this one. But given the way the sport is moving, in which offense is prowess, the home run ball is king, I believe that the NL should adopt the designated hitter. And there should be no more pitcher batters in all of baseball. My reasoning for it is that I think that we see an abundance of these really good offensive players, and I think, in my opinion, the majority of them tend to come out of the AL. And you see the longer tenured good hitting, like big bats, they continue either because they've been on an AL team for such a long time, or they end up switching from the NL to the AL because they have the DH spot where they don't have to play in the field anymore. Like a Big Papi who didn't have the stamina, endurance to play first base 9 innings a game for.
He also wasn't good at it.
Well, but he couldn't do it 132 games. I mean, even if he wasn't the greatest first baseman in the world, but like Paul Konerko towards the end of his career, I mean, these guys, not everyone is like a Derek Jeter who, and even Derek Jeter, I mean, his defense didn't go down, but his overall like tangible stats did, speed, things like that as he got older, and those are things that it becomes an issue as an NL team. You become expendable when you start losing speed and the reaction time, or you start becoming a little bit more brittle due to wear and tear on the knees and things like that, like a Troy Tulowitzki, for example. But when you go to an AL team and you can do that DH spot, and right now offenses, it's not right now. It's pretty much all sports. Offense is king, and all sports. Defense is pretty much taking a back seat in general. I know it's still super important, but to the eyes of the average watcher, it's less important. And I think that there are a lot of guys out there that may not be like a Michael Franco. Or not a Michael Franco. Wrong example. I was thinking something totally different. But like you have a lot of guys out there that have the ability to bat, but may not get the results that they would normally have because they're in an inconsistent batting pool with like pinch hitting and being like a what's the word you use, platoon guy type of thing. Because I think pinch hitting is, in my opinion, I think pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in baseball. To come in 3 days, having 3-4 days of not seeing any action and taking one at bat.
It's like, hey, it's the 8th inning.
And usually when you're pinch hitting, it's because they need a hit.
Yeah, be like, what do you say?
So I think we'd see more consistency out of some different people. I think it would give some youth a potential to come up more. If you had the DH spot in the NL, somebody maybe like if you're a team that has a really good catcher, but you have a catcher prospect that's got a good bat, you can bring him up earlier and have him be part of the actual team and have him get regular at-bats as a DH spot. So I think the DH as a league-wide thing.
So I agree with you, Paul. And the only thing I would add is that, like, it is cool when, the few times a year a pitcher, like, hits a home run. Like, it is cool. But generally, and the average fan, I don't think wants to watch pitchers hit. It's not an exciting at-bat. A lot of times they don't look good. It's just
my thing is too is when you even though like you look at a sport like baseball, for example, like pitching, there's across all sports there are more professional starting pitchers. Well, maybe relieving pitchers would probably be number one.
Yeah.
Relief pitchers would be one. Starting pitchers would be two. There are more starting pitchers and relief pitchers. There's more pitchers than any other position in any other sport.
I tell you too.
Because, even an offensive line, like the average team probably has, 5 starting offensive linemen and 3, maybe 4 backups on the roster at a given time. So you're looking at, let's say, 8 times 32. So you're looking at 250, 260, we'll call it. Every MLB team has 5 starters and, for more or less, 5 starters and, 7 bullpen guys? Is that fair, Kyle?
Yeah.
All right.
So you're looking at 13 times 30 teams. So right there, you're already over you're at 350.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, and that's a lot. So a lot of these guys a lot of these guys, are average guys, but to be those great guys like Kershaws and Verlanders, like at a young age, they're told like you have a fucking gift, like you could be great, but you need to focus on pitching. And so at age 14, they stop practicing batting. They're stopped being coached on batting. It's just like, hey, just go out there and,
The other side, we're seeing it in, like, the NFL, where they're protecting quarterbacks. They're putting rules in place to protect the quarterback. And we're seeing MLB, especially starting pitchers, sign these monster deals. I'm sorry, like, if I'm a team that, I like the Yankees. They just signed Garrett Cole. A team like Boston has, Sale, and you're giving these guys this big time money to pitch. I don't want them hitting. I don't want them. They take a inside pitch to the hands. They see ya.
Well, and my thing too, I think too, a lot of times you see even at the professional level. You get a batter up there, you have certain pitchers that can hit that you trust to take, let them, not swing away per se, but go up there and make their judgments. But I feel like a lot of pitchers, it's almost hey, unless it's something you really, really can't lay off, like a change up right in the middle of the zone or something. Like, don't swing. Like, we would much rather you strike out looking than hit into a double play.
Yeah.
And so it's just, for me, it just slows the game down.
Although,
because I feel like a lot of times too, pitchers try to pitch around pitchers. They try to like beat them, like they're like, oh, like I'm gonna try to beat you with, like I'm gonna hit you with that, like that right on the corner outside slider or something, you know.
I do love, however, when the pitchers get on base and run with their jackets on.
I hate that so much. All right, so we got to move along because it's already 11:00. So let's get a vote. Unanimous vote, obviously. So my vote is obviously yes to DH. So Mock,
I say yes.
DH across the league.
Across.
Kyle,
I say no.
Kendall,
I also say no.
Mass.
I say yes.
Haha, perfect pitch.
Can we get a rebuttal, real quick one?
But that also wasn't unanimous. It was just majority.
Majority. Then. That's what I meant. Majority. It's got to be majority. No rebuttals. We got. Everyone else has pitches to do.
All right, then no rebuttal.
Mock.
So I know we're going on the cheating isn't legal thing, but me and Kyle are kind of talking about this. I think that pitchers should be allowed to use pine tar.
So I will say this first and foremost. I said no cheating to avoid the Astros conversation.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to avoid that, and steroids too. So that's what the primary idea behind that was.
And
if you guys come to an amicable agreement, we're not going to turn this into a bitch fit.
No. Because the pine tar thing to me, from the pitching standpoint, and again, I'm not saying they can go out and just cover the ball, but it's not. It's a player safety thing again. Like, we just saw a guy. I don't know his name. I don't know if you would know his name off the top of your head, Kyle. Took a fastball that got away from a pitcher right to his mouth. I mean, we're talking about guys throwing a ball, 60 feet away from you, 100 miles an hour. If I'm the batter,
63.5.
I know, but I'm saying, like, if I'm the batter, I want the pitcher to have as much control as he can. Like, I know most of these guys, could hit a dime with the ball, but even still, I want them to be able to not have it slip out of their hand and hit me in my face. You have the pine. It's not making me throw hard. It's not going to really alter the ball.
Yes, it is.
But it's not like
giving you more break.
But not really.
It is. That's why they throw out every fucking dirt ball.
Well, but that's different between the scuffs and because the scuffs change
aerodynamics.
Yeah, it is. I understand what you're saying, but it is different. I don't know.
I'm all for it.
You don't want to see these players and I know it doesn't happen often, but you don't want to see these guys get hit like in their face, because that could be like life threatening. Again, they're so close. The pitch from the mound to the plate is fractions of a second. It's so fast. To me, it's just kind of looking out for the batter, and I don't think that batters would really oppose pitchers having more control if it means you don't get hit in your fucking forehead.
I do think it gives the pitchers more of an advantage point, which they need nowadays. I agree with you for the wrong reason.
Well, do they need it because teams know the sign, the pitch that's coming?
No. They need it because everybody's fucking going for the home run ball.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I dislike the idea of, for what like Kyle's saying, like having an unfair added advantage that's not natural to the person who's throwing. It's an outside addition.
So why are they allowed to use rosin?
Well, the only thing I can think of
because it looks cool.
But really, like, they have the rosin bag there.
But that
the rosin bag it's for the same reason that you get the rosin bag in bowling. It's to eliminate moisture.
Right,
because moisture gives you more break on the ball when you're sweating.
Opposite. It's more of like a control thing rather than like so. You don't have like a wet ball in your hand. It's more of
that's really what the rosin's for, is to eliminate.
But I mean, again, it's you're putting something on your hands to put on the ball.
Yeah, I understand
to control it.
The point you're making, but it's like, but the rosin's not going to make the ball go faster or have better break.
Well, the pine tar's not going to make it go faster.
Well, not faster, but you perhaps can give a better break. Like what Kyle said. I mean, I bet Kyle, kind of like our resident pitcher, if you will, could speak a majority on that. Well, I think this is kind of a stretch, but like imagine in professional billiards if you couldn't chalk the cue. It's like it's a similar, the chalk doesn't provide more spin on the ball. It just creates a more flush control.
My only issue with it is just like it opens up a bigger box.
It does.
Because that's my only issue with it. I don't disagree with it in terms of player safety and honestly, and giving pitchers some sort of a little bit more of a competitive. I mean, we see it in all sports. I mean, like, look at every sport has competitive edges on it. I mean, fucking wide receivers with these gloves that they wear. I mean, soccer. They just came out with a pair. I think it was Under Armour. Just came out with a pair of gloves where you can take the gloves, you can hold the wrist application, like that wraps up by the wrist. You can just hold it by those and slap it to the ball, and you can pick up the ball. Like, that's how much grip is on them. So, I mean, granted, when someone's hucking a fucking soccer ball from 38 yards away, those things fucking move and they curve. So, you want to be able to grip it, but it's all player advantage.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with baseball. I mean, how much would power hitting be affected if baseball players were not allowed to use pine tar batting? If they weren't allowed to have that grip on the ball, that extra grip on the bat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all player advantage, whether they're minute or so. I don't know if pine tar is the right answer, but I think that pitchers should be allowed to do something. So I'm sold. I'm in.
I guess that's a better way. It may not have to be pine tar specifically.
Yeah, but I'm in.
Kettle?
I guess I'm in for player safety purposes. I'm in.
Mass?
For player safety purposes too, sure, why not? I'm okay with that.
Kyle?
Yeah.
All right, you get a unanimous. That means you get to assign one private stock shot to Kendall.
Or Rebecca?
Dun dun dun.
Nah, if you do it to Rebecca, you have to dump it on her head.
Do it anyway.
Kyle, what do you got?
All right.
Oh, is this the one I hope it is?
Yeah.
I hope so, too.
So, what was the funnest part of baseball?
Most fun.
So ask your question.
We should make aluminum bats.
Oh, no, this is the one I wanted it to be.
I wanted you to ask me the question, then you just looked at me and turned away and didn't do it.
I don't know. Which one did you think I was going to do? The ball one?
Yeah, I love that one. I personally think it should be a thing.
We could do both.
Well, we'll get to both, but hurry up.
I think aluminum bats should be legal.
I know this is really aggravating on the air. I'm sorry.
Because, college baseball does it. It's only like one step down from Major League Baseball. And the home run ball would be more of a thing.
Well, it's funny. An aluminum bat, it's not going to splinter into a billion pieces.
No, it's just going to hit a ball back at 250 miles an hour.
Well, listen, be that as
You
it
would
may.
see farther home runs.
So, I think it's funny, just to point out a point, the first two are like, hey, let's make it safer for these players. Nope, let's make these balls rockets.
Hey, let's kill these fuckers.
Well, it's more going to kill the fan than the pitcher.
Here's the thing: aluminum bats, then the White Sox foul netting all the way down the lines is an automatic must.
Yeah, we need netting everywhere.
Yeah, that would probably that would have to be a thing.
Well,
And pitchers, you would probably see pitchers wear
that's
helmets.
fine. Go to your safety.
Well, yeah. Listen, I'm
Play
for
at your own
aluminum.
risk. It's not an issue in college, and
So here's the thing, and I'm not discrediting you. College has also been looking to get away from it. They haven't yet, but
You know what's really funny too? This was an SAT essay.
really,
Yeah,
I
I wrote my essay on this
Me
in
too.
my SATs.
I didn't take them.
It's just funny though when you look back at like how long this has been a conversation.
I know.
I
Like,
took my SATs in 2010.
yeah, they
Got a
come up
great
a
score,
lot
by the
where they're trying to get away from it,
Got a great score.
and
just imagine how far a
wouldn't do
ball
so
would
well.
go off of Giancarlo's bat.
it'd be fun to do it for like the home run.
It
tournament.
wouldn't go that far because you have to play in order
Yeah,
to
you have
actually
to be on
swing.
the field. It's got a good point.
I'm just saying, like in general.
Imagine that rehab game, man, for AA Trenton. when Stanton comes up.
Yeah, the ball would be on the freeway.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I mean, not for the drivers on the freeway.
But I tell you what,
Here's
it'd
the
be
deal.
fun to watch, but it'd also be sad to watch. 13 pitchers a year die.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, I don't want to. I know we're having fun. I think everyone has at least one they'd like to get to, if not more. I know you want to get to your other one. I have one I want to get to, so we got to somewhat speed this up. So make any last minute points you have for your sales pitch.
Okay. I guess I'm for it. I don't have a problem with it. But there has to be adjustments made to the field, so I'm for it.
I say no. I mean, guys are going to get wrecked. Home run derby, I'm in.
Just as worse that way.
No, there's no fielders, and the pitcher's behind a net.
There's kids out there.
Well, then you don't put the kids out there.
Well, no. I mean, like,
Right
there's no fielders, like, in a game. Like, the infield is clear. The pitcher's behind a net. Like,
Oh, that's funny.
those kids don't catch shit anyway.
Exactly.
Maybe they'll start.
Just imagine a ting. It would be loud. Paul?
I am against it.
Mass?
Can I give my reason why real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I so love when bats explode.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tell you what, terrifying when it comes flying at you, though.
A little bat can explode.
If a metal bat explodes, run away.
I've seen it happen.
I've seen it happen. It's fucking terrifying.
God, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
The only way I'm for it is if we fill aluminum bats with golf balls.
It's fine.
Ooh, cement bat.
So imagine, you know how, like, wood bats break? Just imagine that's like a grenade.
I guess I'm surprised.
Like a
how it
frag?
happened. What, off the neck, or
It's the barrel, like, actually explodes.
oh,
I've seen it's fucking wild.
bad craftsmanship, if you ask me.
Mass?
I am for it.
All right, so it wins.
Guess you don't care about player safety.
No, I really don't. They're there to entertain me. That's why they get paid millions.
Yeah, let's go back like 5 minutes and we'll see. Fucking Kendall? Hey, real
I
quick.
vote no.
Real quick before Kendall goes. Is there, I know there's usually one floating around sometimes. Is there a wine key opener
You know, there was.
There's
Last I
a-
saw was over there.
floating around? Or does anyone have a knife on them?
Is it in that mess over there?
All right, Kendall, go ahead.
All right. So I just want to read one quick thing that I found funny. Rule 6.10B15. A designated hitter is specifically prohibited from sitting in the bullpen unless serving as a bullpen catcher. So, I'm not suggesting a change of the rule. I just found that funny. This is a rule I would actually curious about adjusting. So, Rule 2, flat, the infield fly. So basically, a ball popped up into the air with runners on base is an automatic out to prevent catching. You know, you can't let it drop for hit for turn a double play. So this rule, however, is not applied to an attempted bunt that turns up and goes up in the air. That a bunt that goes up in the air and can be let drop to be turned for double play. I see no difference in that because when you're batting and you swing and the ball goes straight in the air and it gets counted as an infield fly rule, it should be treated the same way if a bunt results in the same fashion, and it is treated differently. So I'm looking to change that rule.
It depends. The infield fly is only when the runners in scoring position.
So, but imagine the same scenario, but you're bunting for whatever reason, and that happens.
You suck at bunting.
But what's the distinction? It happens. What's the distinction, though?
It's just whatever to me.
So you think that the bunt thing should be ruled as an infield fly rule?
So I'm saying,
Well, it goes to a certain height.
but that's entirely based on perception and distinction. I mean,
Yeah.
A bunt's not going to go through.
But so what's the rule change? So like if you pop up a bunt,
a bunt
the
over
infield fly rule should apply.
right. So and I was the reason this came up is I was watching plays last year alone.
No, I don't need your explanation. I'm just asking if that's
Where-
the rule.
Yeah, that is the rule. Where this happened.
So
This
a
happened.
pop up bunt should be considered an infield fly.
Yes.
Okay.
Where the infield fly applies should apply if the bunt situation was on. It should be the same.
So I'm gonna disagree, and my reasoning for that is because not like so. What's like the pop-up, though? That's the problem. It's too hard. The language, I think, is too hard to define.
So, by definition, an infield fly is a fair fly ball which can be caught by an infielder with an ordinary effort when first and second, or first, second, and third bases are occupied before 2 are out.
So, like...
A
so if
catcher is
you...
not considered an infielder.
What?
A catcher is not considered an infielder.
Yeah, what if you pop it to the pitcher?
Right. What if you bunt it up towards and it ends up going
They're
towards
also not
third?
considered an infielder.
But so what if you bunt the ball and it ends up going to third, second, short, or first? It just by the trajectory. What's the distinction?
It's not a pop fly.
So,
but
A pop fly has to go a certain amount of height.
how is that? It could be established by bunt. It's not to say
A
it
bunt
could.
can't go that high.
It could kind of. I watched videos from last year alone where the ball was. It traveled. It must have traveled 19 feet in the air.
You gotta, I mean, keep in mind, like, it is possible. Think about it, if a pitcher throws a ball 90 miles an hour and it hits the top, like, it can pop up high.
It happened.
It can.
It happened 7 or 8 times last year.
But I guess my thing is, if you lay a bunt and it pops up and it's an infield fly, like, players don't even really have to move. Like, that's the difference. Is for the infield fly, it has to be. It's like a routine fly ball. You know what I mean? So you fly out to the second baseman. He doesn't. He's already under it. He doesn't have to make a. I shouldn't say he doesn't have to make an effort, but it's not like he's making like a running, diving play. What if you're fielding a pop up bunt? Like, you have to make a more excessive effort to make that play. Whereas you're not just standing in your normal position and it just comes to you. I guess that's where the difference is. Because you think if it pops up and, oh, there's your out, no one has to move. You know, like that to me is where the difference lies. Is just because a pop-up generally off a bunt isn't going to be as high. So someone has to come in and make that play. So that there's a little more action required than just, oh, it was a high fly ball, I took one step to my left.
The only way I could get behind it is if the bases are loaded, like a squeeze bunt type of situation.
Okay.
I could get behind it being if you pop up a bunt, no matter the height, if you pop up a bunt, it is meaning the bunt goes above, we'll call it the level of the bat, like on a bunt attempt. I can consider that being like an automatic out. Like, just like an infield, like a...
I bring it up because it's not uncommon. It actually happens more times than you think.
No, I understand that.
So we have, 2 no's and a yes?
I say no.
So 3 no's.
I said no.
So, a unanimous no.
Well, it's not a unanimous
Well done,
no. You're a
Camel.
yes.
Well, I proposed the rule, so it's a unanimous no. But I'm surprised from 2 people who played a great deal of baseball and who have experienced this at least probably once in their playing careers.
I have.
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but that's what I mean. Like, to me, the pop up one, someone has to come running in to like make that play.
But not necessarily.
Not necessarily. You're right.
Well, that's what I mean. So the argument against is that you're proposing you have to make it an adjusted effort, which is not necessarily the case. I've seen bunts that have traveled almost past, kind of like what we'll call the base path, just by trajectory alone. I'm fine with your decision. I just think that you gotta think more critically.
I gotta assume. I mean, if you bunt it that high and it goes to where the first or third baseman is standing, then I get that could be. But then to me, that's a fly ball.
And the only reason I bring it up because last year it happened. I think it was 7 times, and that's the only reason I thought it was so interesting that.
So then I mean, I'm sure we don't have the numbers in front of us, but 7 times out of how many bunt attempts? You know what I mean? So, how often is it really? You're talking, there's 162 games per team.
And I understand the numbers, but the situation doesn't change, I guess is what I'm saying. So, the people on the base path, whether you're swinging or bunting, the situation doesn't change where the ball goes. Why does that change the rule? The ball travels the same distance, whether you're swinging or bunting. Why does that make a difference?
you also got to think of it of where were the base runners in this?
No, but the point I'm making is
No, like I'm being serious. Like if they were just on first and they popped it up,
but that
not an infield fly.
right, but that's not what's occurring. The situation described in the infield fly is exactly what's happening. For whatever reason, the bunt was on. Don't know why, but the ball was popped up in the air and resulted in a non-infield fly, and it resulted in double play.
I would have to see the play.
I gotta piss. I'm sorry.
Matt, you got one?
Yeah, I have one. I still haven't actually got the computer up, so I don't have my notes on really arguing it, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a very controversial one. My rule change was to make what's the term I used? To make the batter's box like a real thing, not to just make it a judgment of an umpire. That's the batter's box is a real like.
You mean the pitch? You mean the pitch zone?
Yeah,
the strike zone.
I was saying because the batter's box is a real thing.
So the problem with that though is just like without putting an instrument there,
Yeah,
Well,
it's all
it's
judgment.
Also, it's like every umpire has a different strike zone.
but that's what he's saying is to get rid of that. Is
So
to
like just make it
to have
like
it universal.
like. I know this is a very large strike zone, so I'm not saying that. But like, let's just say knees to shoulders above, like over the plate.
well, that's the general strike zone.
I thought it was knees to letters.
I mean, generally we were always told knees to shoulders because.
Auto needs the letter.
But what I mean is, it was always knees because every umpire is different. Some will call it so. I remember always just being told like use that as your general
Knees to shoulders.
at your shoulders. It's high. I mean, you shouldn't swing, but there's going to be guys that call it.
I don't know. That's a tough one just because like of some umpires are outside guys. Some guys are high guys.
You're right, but
Well, I'm
but I
saying-
think that's what he said. I think he's trying to
There's
say
no way to really fix that.
Well, the way
Well,
to fix it would be with the automatic umpire.
they're toying with it. I mean, with these
Getting
the
rid of-
robot umpires.
Yeah, robot umpires that have a specific field of play, or
It's-
like a plane that
At
you
that
have
point,
to.
it'd just be like swing at everything.
It's tough because we see it in the NFL. They're talking about having the eye in the sky. You got to get the calls right, but and this contradicts what I. But baseball, like the bad strike call, is as much part of the game as like an RBI double. Like
Yeah.
it's part of the game.
The problem for me with it is when there's a lot of them when home umpires aren't consistent. When something is like high and away and they call it a strike for
Yeah.
the first 3 innings and then they start calling it a ball for the next 3.
And that's where you see pitchers start freak because it's like what the hell. But to me, like, and to me, it's in baseball more than any other sport, in my opinion, because just it's bang bang, it's that snap. Was the foot on? Was it inside? It's such a snap judgment call.
Mhm.
It's part of the game as anything else.
Yeah.
I don't like this idea of the robot umpires.
Things happen.
But even like I like the part of baseball where I didn't think that was a strike, but he called it. It is what it is. We see it in our softball. Guys strike out. I didn't think. Oh, well, what are you gonna do? You didn't think it was a good pitch.
It's a sport
He said
entirely
it
judged
was.
off human error.
Yeah.
So I mean, in
a
terms
game
of like,
I mean, aren't all sports though?
No.
They're not, because if you look at a lot of sports, I mean, baseball is truly like a game of failure.
yeah, it's all judgment.
But think about it. An elite player, an elite batter, gets a hit 3 out of 10 times. It's crazy to think of it that way because, if a quarterback only completed 3 out of 10 passes,
It'd be a terrible
it's
quarterback.
a bad quarterback. If a receiver only caught 3 out of 10 passes, he's a bad receiver. But if a hitter comes up and gets 3 hits and 10 at bats, he's an all-star player. Like it's a game that you're
It's
you're not
about
meant
who
to
fails
succeed
least.
at it.
Who fails the least?
Yeah, you're not meant to succeed in the way you are in other
I
sports.
guess that's what the beauty of it.
But that's what I mean. Like it's a
Oh
game
God,
where
Kyle's getting fucking emotional.
he's gonna cry.
I start fucking crying out of his penis.
It's just and it's more really on the
The 58 mile an
batting
hour
side,
changeups.
but it's not a game designed to produce hits and runs, and so when people can do it, just a little bit better.
It's a game that's built to have defense succeed.
Yeah. It's just.
Does anybody else have one that they really want to get to?
One.
I can see the one I was thinking.
Do you have another one, Masi?
I don't.
All right. Go ahead. Let's make them quick.
I just think that the amount of baseballs used should be limited to at least like 20. I'm not saying foul ball, and I think that they should extra just for that purpose because there's too many foul balls.
Like if a pitch goes in the dirt, they should reuse the ball.
Yeah, like pitch used in the dirt or pitch used in the infield, things like that. They should just reuse it.
So I'm going to disagree, and the reason for it is because one of the cool things about baseball versus other sports is inexpensive memorabilia.
I was going to go the same route.
And you can go into any stadium, and granted, so it's like, you go into an Angel Stadium, you're not just going to find for $40 a Mike Trout autographed baseball.
You'll find a game-used ball.
But you'll find game-used balls, and there's tons of them, and people love that shit. People love it. You find a game-used ball, it's just because it's got scuffed up.
Yeah.
And it's a cheap, quick profit way for organizations to make money. And I don't really have anything wrong with it because physics-wise, it affects how the ball moves.
And it comes back to the player safety. I mean, we talked about it with the Pine Tar thing. If that if a pitcher throwing 90 miles an hour puts 3 in the dirt, that ball's not going to move the same way.
Like, I agree with you guys are saying. Like, I don't agree. I don't think
I got you.
Brought up, but the baseballs that we had to use.
But
the things that could have been done with those.
But again, I mean, we're talking a little league budget of
$80.
Yeah,
no,
for 90
I
players.
Agree, I'm just saying, like, imagine what they could have done with those.
Yeah,
like I agree with you guys 100%. I think I love the whole.
It's your guys' fault for not taking those baseballs and autographing them and selling them at the food tents.
Like, Philly Stadium,
I tried.
That it'll say like.
I don't believe you.
Like a Pedro Martinez pitch ball in the dirt. Like they still like. I agree with that 100%. It was just an opinion that people have, and I just brought it out there.
Right. No, it makes
Plus,
sense.
you figure we're creating jobs building these baseballs. You're trying to take jobs away in America.
Yeah, those aren't made here.
American design.
The good boys at Wilson would say otherwise.
Right. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's when you play in a sport, the only other sport where it happens even close to the amount of time is hockey. And it's not even close. But when you have a sport where the object can get put out of play into fan sections so often,
yeah,
it just it is what it is. I mean, at that point, because it's like you say, great, like, okay, we're gonna limit it to 20 balls, but it's like, then what happens? Like, we've seen it before. Like, what happens when you have like nine pitch at bats, all foul balls,
second inning,
right? It's just like shit happens. It's just like I mean, you're still gonna have all the balls regardless because you don't know how many foul balls are gonna be. So you might as well just do it. It's not like football where like a ball that goes in the crowd in football, that's a rarity. And if it does happen, it's usually resulting in someone getting thrown out of a game.
And a lot of times they go and get it.
Yeah, it's like in soccer, like they go and get the ball when it goes out. I mean, basketball, like it's very rare a ball is leaving the 6th row of the court, which is really when you think about it, because there's absolutely zero boundaries. Like football, you're raised up.
Yeah. Like
in basketball, but it's just like in a block shot, like the distance away, it's just not going that far.
It would be pretty funny though if a team ran out of balls one day.
Well, game's over, guys.
In basketball, right?
Baseball.
All right, you had one more, Kettle?
One more. All right. Rule
No.
6.04C. No fielder shall take the position in the batter's line of vision and, with the deliberate, unsportsmanlike intent, act in a manner to distract the batter.
So are you arguing that like an infielder should be able to stand between the pitcher and the batter?
No, because we're talking about in the line of sight. So he has to be playing a position, but be doing something to distract the batter.
So,
So like, you can't do the YMCA while he's batting?
I guess not.
Kevin Youkilis broke that rule a lot then. Do you ever see that guy before a pitch? He would start like 3 steps behind first base, start walking towards it, and then jump. Like every pitch. It was this crazy thing.
My favorite actual rule in baseball is that no fielder besides the catcher is allowed to start the play in out of bounds position.
Yeah. I was reading on that today.
I mean, granted, like an outfielder like would never start. Like imagine being a third baseman. Like I'm going to start in foul territory.
Leaning against the side
I didn't
wall.
know that. I didn't know that was a rule.
But like, why would you ever start outside
Right.
of the
You're putting yourself in
field
a
of play?
bad position.
If you're a center fielder, how would you do that?
You're like holding onto the wall.
Hey, real quick. Next inning, I'm gonna Irish nachos and maybe a hot dog. I'm gonna sit third row back. Watch out.
Just standing on the fucking fence? Is that kind of in play?
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, because if you can rob a ball over the fence, the ball's always in play.
No, I'm saying, like, if
The
you're
ball is
standing-
always in play till it lands.
Yeah.
Painful and weird sport if you don't like understand it.
It really is, because there's rules and there's unwritten rules. And
There's a rule where you're not supposed to fraternize with the other team during the actual game of play, which is broken every single time a
Right,
first base
it's-
coach talks to a first baseman.
Hey, Freddie Freeman, you suck butt.
Illegal.
All right, so I have three I'd like to rapid fire real quick. We can just do kind of a quick vote, and then we'll be done. All right, so the first one is making a standard, a minimum field, or not a minimum. Sorry, making a standard bearing left and right foul pole distance from home plate. Everything else can be different. Center field can be 5,000 feet. It can be 25 feet. It can come in as a point. I don't care. But left and right field being a actual set distance from home plate.
Where your foul poles are?
Yeah.
I agree, but I want to go a step further, and the field should just be the same size. It should be regulated, I think.
It's just weird to me how half the field is regulated.
I can
Yeah.
care less either way.
Once the dirt ends, it's like, oh, whatever the fuck you want to do. We don't care. Put a hill out there. We don't care.
You
could
could
have-
have
you could
Yankee
have-
short porch.
It's like,
You don't
oh,
care.
you could have a pack of rabid dogs
I'm
out
just
there.
saying.
Just make sure they don't touch the dirt. The dirt is regulated.
Yeah.
Once you get past the dirt, I don't give a shit. Put a
I
mini
love
golf
Yankees.
course out there.
You know, Yankees have a short porch, but so does Phillies, so...
It's just,
White Sox too.
It should be regulated.
You know who doesn't? The Athletics. Fuck them.
You know, I could get
Houston has a real long middle porch.
I could get behind that.
And used to have a hill.
Yeah. The
They
left
should bring
and
that
right,
back.
the foul poles.
Because I used to love people...
I personally agree with making all the fields the same size. I just thought that'd be a stretch for you guys. So I went left, right, just to give some standard bearing on it.
I mean, I do like the individuality of the ballparks, and so I don't want to change it. But I could agree with having a standard, right? So from home to left into right is X amount, and then however you want to design it's whatever.
See,
I think we'd get a better, more accurate representation of which players are actually like elite
Kendall
home
is
run
just too
hitters.
much of a purist to change things.
Well, no, I agree with you on
That's
the whole like, originality part. I like to see
Hipster.
different ballparks and their measurements and how it goes.
But here's the thing. Look, the measurements aren't going to change the aura of the ballpark. Would you like Citizens Bank Park less if they extended 35 feet left and right field?
Maybe.
Would you really?
You wouldn't.
Would you really?
If it was like 385...
I swear to God, if you sit there and go, "Oh, you're further from the field, you're further from the action,"
No, I'm saying...
Then there'll be a cheap fuck and buy a better seat.
Problem with it. I fucking hated City Field for a long time because of that. And then they brought it in, and I didn't hate it as much. Miami Park is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, but if everything's the same, then you don't hate any of it. It's all the same.
I don't know, I just like to, say people suck and people don't suck. It's just how it goes. Like certain stadiums are nicer than others.
But the
You
stadium's
would
not
still
going to
you would
change.
still have that.
No,
You-
I know. I know
yeah.
what
But the
you're saying,
stadium's not going to change.
No, I know.
Like a stadium is not nice because the field's slightly bigger than the next stadium.
I know. I just think different is better.
What else you got?
That's pretty much it.
Oh.
I had other ones, but I forgot what they were. So
Beer reviews?
Most handsome player on the team should wear a dress.
Imagine the arguments.
My other one was I don't believe that if somebody hits a ground ball down the line, a player should be able to bat it foul.
Oh, with their glove.
I don't think that should be
Just
allowed.
let it go.
I think it should be an in-play ball.
I was thinking about that.
Well, no, if it's in fair towards and hit it foul, it's fair.
Yeah.
So then why do people hit it foul?
But
So
don't
they
have to
do
go
it as
fair.
it's starting to roll back. They swat it so it can't roll back into fair. They're
So
touching
like when
it
they
foul.
bunt it straight down and it rolls?
Yeah, like they'll,
Yeah.
they'll hit
So
a
then I think that okay, so then I think that so what's foul? Like if you hit it right into the dirt right in front of home plate, is that a fair ball?
As long as it doesn't hit you.
or it crosses the plate.
Yeah. As long as it stays in front of the plate and doesn't contact the batter, it's a fair ball.
All right, so I think that personally I think that the plate should be infield play. So if you bunt the ball straight down and it bounces off the plate and then starts rolling, a player should not be able to bat it foul to just avoid it.
If it hits the plate and it goes fair, then it's fair.
Hmm?
If it hits the plate and it goes fair, it's fair.
Well, you just said that if it you
The only
guys
time
just said if it did that, that it was
I
foul.
thought if it hits the plate, it's...
No, if it hits the plate and it goes fair, it's fair. If it hits the plate and goes foul, it's foul.
I didn't know that. I thought
I've seen a lot of plays where like a guy bunts the ball straight down into the ground and it rolls down the third base line and they bat it foul.
If it's rolling fair and someone touches it, it's a fair ball.
Yeah.
Even if you could swipe it foul all you want, if you touch it in fair territory, that's a fair ball. Usually you'll see them swipe it if it's already foul and it's like near that line, and
it'll hit like the lip of grass and go right.
So they'll smack it to get it out of there, to make it foul.
But the rule states though that if a ball's foul and coming back into fair play and if it touches a player, it's deemed a fair ball.
Yeah, but they're in foul territory when they do it.
No, I've seen billions of plays where people are in
some part of their body has to be in foul territory.
I've seen guys run down the third base line and hit it out. We got to get clarification on this rule because I've seen players in play go and I've seen pitchers do it where they run off the mound right to the third base line and knock it out.
That's fair.
It was my understanding, and I could be wrong. I mean, we would have to look into it more. But if the ball is foul, even if it's rolling back to fair, unless it touches the foul line, and you touch it, it's foul. But once it hits the line or whatever, and you touch it, then it's a fair ball. I didn't know that it mattered where the player was. I didn't know that. I didn't know that had any implication.
All right, and then the last one is, I personally think that if you have the hand-eye coordination to throw your glove up in the air to stop a fly ball, it should be an out. If you can throw your glove up in the air to stop the ball and then catch it, should be an out.
Automatic triple.
I don't think it should be an automatic triple. Here's the deal: if someone cracks a fucking home run and you at second base, I think it should be infielders only. You couldn't use it to rob a home run. But if someone hits a line drive that's going to go in between the gap of center field and left field, and in that split second, you have the ability to get your glove off and throw it to the perfect height to stop the ball, I think that ball should be a live ball.
I tell you what, they make that a rule. Pat Donovan's in the MLB tomorrow.
You know what?
No, he's not.
I've seen him do that.
He won't do it because he'll break his forearm first play. He'll take it off and it'll break his forearm.
So many times. I've seen him smack balls out of the air with his glove.
Yeah, but he'll break his forearm doing
it. He's the luckiest player in everything. That kid made a three-pointer from the fucking corner off the backboard like 5 times.
You can't do that.
Good.
No, not from the corner three-point land.
No, I can do that.
Like behind the backboard.
Well, then he didn't hit it off the backboard, Kyle.
He did.
There's no way. If he's behind the backboard, he didn't hit the backboard.
A lot of backspin.
Did he hit the rim first?
He shot like this.
Yeah, he did that wanted with the bullet where they bent it. Like, you gotta go like that. You gotta shoot it like this.
I've seen that kid say, "I'm gonna hit a home run into the trash can," and that pitch he hit a home run into the fucking trash can.
He's good for weird shit.
He's also good for breaking his forearm.
When did he break his forearm?
He broke his forearm diving for a ball in softball.
Oh, it was his wrist.
Well, your wrist is part of your forearm.
He didn't break it; he just sprained it.
No, he broke it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Your wrist is part of your forearm.
Is it technically?
Yeah.
It's not part of
your forearm is elbow down to the hand.
No, I just thought it was kind of like just this part.
Anytime you hit a home run, you should be on the.
So is the wrist part of your hand?
The wrist was the wrist.
No, but it's part of the arm.
Well, it's part of the arm.
Yeah, I think
it's part of the forearm.
Kyle, I'm with you.
Hey, I'm learning a lot tonight.
You're an asshole.
Anytime you hit a home run,
Beer reviews, Kyle, go.
Oh,
you do another rule real quick?
Yeah, anytime you hit a home run, you should be on the Wheel of Fortune.
All right, what's your beer review?
Super Gnaw.
As you're running, give me an A.
Pretty good. Solid beer. I get it again. I get any beer again. That's not hams.
What?
The Sierra Nevada hazy little thing IPA was pretty good. At first sip, I was iffy, but it was very tasty. I would buy it again. 3.5 stars.
Kyle, Chris, you still there?
No.
What?
Chris?
Yes.
Have you drank anything?
Did anyone else hear the song Answer Paul?
Yeah. Switch.
But he was like, you there?
Kendall, why don't you review your 4 beers?
All right.
Or 3 beers.
From the Riddler Collection.
Of course.
Of course. Neon Rainbows IPA from Almagang in Cooperstown, New York. 6.7%. We'll call it $16.99 4-pack. Golden in color, a earthy, floral, citrusy aroma as well as flavor. Very tasty IPA, not too heavy, easy on the palate, doesn't burn you out. 3 stars would absolutely get again.
What about Dave Double?
Hold on,
Dave's-
hold on. I gave it 4 stars, said absolutely would get it again. For the Neon Rainbows.
Yes, very tasty. I loved it a lot. Dave's Kick Save IPA from Blades in New Haven, Connecticut. Call it $14.99 a 4-pack, 7%. Straw color, earthy, floral, and aroma and flavor. Not super tasty. It's easy drinking. 2 stars. Doubtful would get again to buy. Will drink again, absolutely.
Gave it 2.5 stars, said maybe. We had totally different aromas.
I'm not really good at determining those things. I'm just good at drinking.
Questionable.
And then from the Riddler as well, Over the Moon from Open Gate / Guinness.
OnlyFans, you see a trend out there?
From from Maryland. Was it Maryland? 5.3%. Black color, the chocolatey coffee and aroma, similar flavor profile. I was actually surprised. I always have very doubtful when something is like it's part Guinness, not too heavy. It was very smooth, velvety. 3 stars, sure would get again.
And then I had the I skipped the whole double page. I had 5 of the Over the Moon Milk Stouts from Guinness, Open Gate Brewery out of Baltimore, 5.3%, 10.99 6-pack. Amber, dark brown color, earthy bread and malt aroma with a creamy malt flavor. So it's creamy and smooth, very decadent. Good job from the U.S. brewery, which is a first because everything else they do is terrible. Mild malt, it's very thin and extremely crushable. I gave it 3.5 stars. That absolutely would get it again. And real quick, I didn't give I think I gave a bullshit review last week. I had the Stillwater world famous Pilsner to finish out the show from North Haven. It's a 5% Pilsner, and it costs too much regardless of what you bought it for. It's straw colored, it tastes like nothing, and it's the worst craft beer that's ever existed with a very ugly label and a terrible can. I gave it no stars and said I would not get it again or drink it if it was free.
Oh.
There you go. Mock, real quick, a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If they were interested in hearing reviews about other beers we've had, where could they find those?
You could find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure you use the
Also
hashtag
find us on
GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's Mass just chiming in once for the past hour, or changing all the rules of a sport you've loved forever.
Be sure to subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We are everywhere.
Where you find internet and radio podcasts, you find us.
Subscribe on Spreaker, as previously mentioned. Be sure to check out the Peter Pino Show this Wednesday from 7:30 to 10:30. I believe the Rat will be there.
It's Pete Pino's birthday month, he calls it.
Ooh.
The whole month of March is his birthday month. Big 5-0 this year.
When's his birthday?
Is it be 5 this year?
It's going to be 5. It's going to be 5.
So,
Jeff.
years old.
check that out. Download the PPRN. Is the app still on?
The app is no more.
So don't download the app.
But follow people on Spreaker.
On Spreaker.
They have like 100,000. I don't know what the number was. They have like a bunch of downloads. So be part of the movement.
Also, real quick, just a personal PSA. This Thursday is a holiday very dear and special to my heart. It is March 12th. Can anybody tell me the significance of March 12th?
Yeah, it's in March. I know what it is, Becca.
I don't think I know.
It is 312 Day. The Goose Island beer, 312.
Oh.
It is
Can I tell you? I knew it had something to do with Goose Island.
the Goose Island 312, which is they have an urban wheat ale and a dry hop ale, but it's just Goose Island Day. So you drink any Goose Island beer you love. If you've ever listened to the show, you know that I'm a big supporter of Goose Island beers.
April 4th.
Yeah, we're going. I'm going. I don't give a fuck who else goes. I'll miss the game for it. Honestly, I could care less
I'm
about
in.
the game.
You know, I'm going. But my clown ass when Paul said 312, I was like, oh, Pi Day, bitches. But I was-
3.12.
But I restrained myself because I'm not an
so it's
idiot.
Goose Island Day. So if you are a beer drinker,
Pull it up.
pull it up. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of the Next Coast IPA, the Low Cal's IPA out there. They've got the regular IPA. There's the 312. There's the Sisters that I've reviewed on the show a while back at the Whole Farmhouse series. If you can find it, Bourbon Counties.
You have one Juliet left.
I do. Yeah, I also have like 40 Bourbon Counties left. And guess what came in the mail the other day?
The glass?
The Bourbon County official snifter.
Oh, very
It's
Your
called a
library-
snafter.
It's
Car.
not. So
called
yeah, so
snufter.
312 Day on Thursday. I will be celebrating next Monday with Goose Island beer. And it's going to be delicious. But until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nay.
I'm the Mass Chris Massey.
Nope.
I'm Two Thick Souls.
Glad you
And I'm the rat of a red baron.
Rat. Yeah.